our food is here. Speaking of nihilism, you're hopeful, you're optimistic about the future of America.
I gotta be, man.
But what you fail to consider is that I'm going to give you so much brain rot that it's going to make you incredibly nihilistic about the future of America, because we are going to. There's a channel called Jubilee. Are you familiar with this channel?
I unfortunately have become.
I used to have a blockade.
Settlers from the 1500s.
I used to have a blockade on the Jube, the channel called Jubilee. This has 3 million views in one day.
My family.
Friend of the show, Mehdi Hasan, went on this one progressive versus 20 far right conservatives, and we're going to watch some of this as much as we can take while we eat. So at least there's a little bit of good here. You're going to be eating some Middle Eastern food, but then you're also going to be watching this brain rot together, and hopefully try not to get black pilled challenge.
I feel like this is if this is brain rot material, it's like the best version. I'm not gonna lie. Mehdi always raises the bar for all of us. So
I know, but
they got 20 folks who are trying to bring the bar way down. To their
no, the bar is low. And I was talking to him earlier, and he's like, "This is." He said something along the lines of like, "If this is America's political future, this is a disaster." He said it's a freak show, and he's right. It is a freak show. I have long talked about how the American political youth on the right have become completely and utterly removed from like whatever the old conservative methods were, where they are just actively and openly far right, openly Nazi, openly fascist. And I think this Jubilee is a little taste of that, where if you're under the age of 35 and you're like, I'm a far right conservative, like you're a fascist. And many of these guys will just say that in broad daylight. I'm going to bring the food right now.
Family lineage is settlers from the 1500s.
Colonialists.
Yeah,
colonialists. You don't look very Native American to me.
I am Native American. Whites are Native Americans. What are you
Sorry.
talking about?
You're not.
Damn.
What are you talking about?
You're a little bit more than a far right Republican.
Hey, what can I say?
I think you could say I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am.
Man, that laugh
Listen to me.
though.
I am an immigrant. I'm speaking from personal experience.
Get the hell out.
I don't even like. I should get the hell out.
Yes.
Why?
I don't want you here.
I'm Mehdi Hasan. I'm a journalist. I'm the editor of Zeteo. And today I'm surrounded by 20 far-right conservatives. My first claim is Donald Trump is pro-crime and pro-criminal. Welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm Mehdi.
I would just like to ask, what makes someone pro-crime versus, anti-crime?
I think when you're soft on criminals, when you let criminals out of prison, when you pardon people who've assaulted police officers, you're pro-criminal. Donald Trump pardoned almost 1,600 people who were involved in January the 6th. I think 600 of them had been charged with assaulting a police officer or obstructing a police officer. 170 had pled guilty to assaulting a police officer. 70 had pled guilty to assault with a deadly weapon. J.D. Vance said, we're not going to pardon the violent criminals from January 6th. Donald Trump pardoned all of them. Are you okay with that?
I would say January 6th is a very special case. I would say it's almost a climax point in history. I would just phrase the question this way.
Climax
right now
history.
in the LA protests, if they were to, just for example, they were to rush the capital of LA, I mean, they'd have to move over all the homeless people living in tents on the steps of the Capitol. But if they were managed to get into the Capitol and they were just protesting, peacefully, let's say police officers were rushing them in. They were letting them in and saying, hey, you guys can go in, like we have many testimonies that say.
What about the violent ones, though?
Okay, violent ones like
Like
what?
a man named David Dempsey, a judge, a Reagan-appointed judge, sentenced him to 20 years in prison. He stomped on police officers' heads. The judge said his conduct was exceptionally egregious. He attacked police officers with flagpoles and pepper spray. Donald Trump pardoned him. There's a man named Daniel Rodriguez. He got 12 years in prison for taking a stun gun and tasing a police officer in the neck.
You can move that
That's
stuff
phenomenal.
there.
The judge said he was a one-man
old
army.
school.
Donald Trump
I'm good,
pardoned
man.
him.
Thank you.
Does that not make Trump pro-criminal?
Appreciate it.
That was a
He's letting
I'm
violent
not eating
criminals out of
pitas
prison.
either.
I would say no, it doesn't make him pro-criminal.
You're okay with that?
I did not say that. I said that one pardon against somebody.
It was 1,600 pardons. 600 of those were
Yes,
people
one against
charged
one
with...
example that you just gave me.
I can give you more. Just
Okay,
shake
here's
your-
the-
fine.
here's the thing about
And I'll say the
Jenkins.
exact same thing every single.
I feel like, I mean, the hard part about fascism is it is not a logical conclusion. It is like the end outcome of power meets tribalism. And it's very difficult to actually either debate for or debate against. It's just like, I just think I'm better than because I am a certain particular kind of person and I have the power to turn that into governance. So it's just like, it's fascinating to watch this exercise because I feel like you're trying to use the weapon of logic against a group of people who have foregone logic entirely.
Yeah. It's that's why like race realism, for example, is a really important tool for a lot of these guys because it's like it's a failed scientific justification for like inferiority and superiority. But that's the most extreme level of like fascist racist politics is like trying to justify it, trying to logic your way into these positions, even though the positions itself are completely ridiculous and illogical. Yeah.
Your argument will fall apart because it's not just one example if I keep going.
Go for it then.
Okay, Shane Jenkins got 7 years in prison
And thank
for
you,
9 criminal offenses, attacking police with a deadly weapon, destroying government property.
How do
Trump pardoned
pardons
him.
that probably shouldn't have happened turn into pro-crime?
So you've agreed that they shouldn't have been pardoned?
Sure, but that wasn't your claim. Was January 6th? Your
we
claim
don't,
was Trump is
inadvertently
pro-crime.
Yeah, because he pardons criminals.
Okay,
You know,
I
we do
was
this
saying
all.
that the fault.
Let's talk about non-January 6 people.
You don't want to
Okay.
get
He's
canceled
pardoned
by the
people like Paul
racists like
Walsh
Zoran did.
who took millions of dollars from his own employees, was sentenced to tax crimes, had to pay back $4 million. Trump pardoned him. He bought himself a $2 million yacht.
Dude, have you
Why
been
is
in
he
Michigan?
pardoning criminals like that?
Have you spent any time in Dearborn?
I have never been to Dearborn. I have been to Ann Arbor is the only place I've been to in Michigan because I went to University of Michigan, like the campus.
Nice. That's my hometown.
Way
That's where I
back in
live.
the day with the Young Turks.
Nice. So you gotta, next time you come, you gotta go to Dearborn.
Oh,
we gotta take you to
100%.
go. There's a place called Dearborn Meat Market. Big shout out. And they will do the best kebab you have ever had.
Oh, 100%.
It's like literally just a butcher shop and then a couple guys on the grill in the back. So you get your meat and then they just grill it for you. Eat. There's like no frills about it. I mean, they don't mess around with plates. It's just all styrofoam. And
that.
it's some of the best food you've ever had, man. This looks phenomenal though. Thank you.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's there's some pretty decent Middle Eastern food. There's a lot of Lebanese restaurants out here. There's a lot of Armenian restaurants out here that are really good.
There's a spot that does one of my favorite dishes I ever had is khachapuri. You ever had it? Dude, it's like you ever want, you know, if one day you just decide, you know what, I'm giving up. That's the place. Khachapuri is phenomenal.
Yeah, Indian food is one of my biggest weaknesses.
Oh yeah? What's your go-to?
I go for lamb korma. That's what I like. But it's this place has they also do like I guess they call it like it's paneer naan, but it's like cheese and garlic.
Oh.
Oh my Lord. And then some rice on the side too. Oh.
So my wife is Indian. So her mom makes this you like seafood at all?
Khachapuri is Georgian food.
Yeah, that's Georgian. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But she makes this this fish biryani that is like blow your mind. So when you come to Michigan, come through. Let me know and we'll get you some really, really good. She's from the Southwest coast, and so that India has like all these different kinds of variations on their food. So come through, we'll get you some good Indian.
Hell yeah. I don't eat any seafood, but I'll eat other.
Dude, you're Turkish. You guys have some of the best seafood in the world.
I know.
I don't think really presidential pardons should be a thing at all. But I
agree.
I don't think that.
All right, pause.
That means something.
You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
Thanks.
So the red flags, do you know how that works? Mm-hmm. Okay. So you're familiar with this setup. All right.
How's it going?
Hey, how's it going? Mehdi.
What is it?
Mehdi.
You're from northern UK, I guess?
I'm from London, North London.
Okay, fair enough. What's your ethnic background, if you don't mind my asking?
My parents are from India.
Okay, perfect. Just getting premise here. First of all, I want to say
The premise of Donald Trump being pro-crime.
No. I want to.
What kind of premise are you getting?
I love how he's trying to be nice
myself
about
with
it too. He's like,
Yeah.
if you don't mind my asking. What if he was like, I do mind your asking, fuck you.
Hold up. I'm about to be racist. I just want to know exactly what
Who
kind
am I
of
being
racism?
racist against? Exactly.
Yeah.
Let me dial in some of the stereotypes. here. Go ahead.
Polite racism.
Why you care about what's happening in the U.S. first and foremost. Secondly, I want to say this: the argument,
should people who live in the US not care about?
Let's not interrupt each other because I have this thing. Like people know, I have this thing. I have to stay calm. Okay, so here's the thing.
I have this thing. It's called being a bitch. I can't fucking hold my own in a conversation without throwing a fit.
See, this is the thing. This is the kind of masculinity. He's like, listen. You don't want to see me if I explode, bro.
Yeah. Little man.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Be more racist than you already are.
Yeah.
I am happy that he released J6. In fact, so much so that I was prepared to protest if he didn't.
Okay. Wow.
So when you say, are you okay that he's pro-crime? Sure, because you know what? We're changing the definition of what crime is, first and foremost.
You don't think stomping on police officers' heads is a crime?
I don't think it's no longer a relevant conversation anymore. You're
Really?
arguing. No, it's not, because you know what? Okay, have you seen the U.S. in the last 4 or 5 years?
Yes, I've
BLM
lived
protests.
there for a
Have you
while.
seen? Okay, I myself have been involved in these protests. I've seen egregious things that you couldn't even imagine.
So we have
being
no
done to
rules then?
conservatives. It's not about that. It's about tribal warfare.
Okay.
That's where we're at in the U.S. I don't know where you're at in the U.K. You're from India, so I don't really.
I'm not from
Give me a
India.
pause
Oh,
here real
sorry,
quick.
your parents are from India.
See, this is the thing that kills me. It's just like the people who accuse folks of tribalism generally appeal to tribalism themselves, and that's the crux of it all. It's like the premise of his entire argument is you don't belong here because your family originated in a different place. You shouldn't care about what happens. Ergo, I get to define everything that's relevant about this place and then debate you on the premise of what I just defined. And anytime you refute me, I'm going to go back to this idea that actually essential tribalism is really the differentiating factor that really matters at all. And I'm going to keep making that point to you. And part of me says, the funny thing about it is like, because when you speak and you say, let me refute this point, they're like, oh, but you're coming from a different tribe. So it's like, it's impossible to refute that essential argument. And it's so antithetical to everything that this country is built on. I'll blow your mind here for a second. I was raised by my father, who's an Egyptian immigrant, and my stepmom, Jackie. And so I'm ethnically 100% Egyptian and, I'm born and raised in Michigan. My brother, Osama, he is ethnically half Egyptian, ethnically half white. And his, so my stepmom is a daughter of the American Revolution. They can trace their lineage back to Abigail Adams. And so, somebody like him, I mean, at some point, is like, look, he's as ethnically American as this kid is, and his name is Osama. And their vision of America would be that somehow that's a bad thing, right? Like the whole idea of what makes this place amazing is that it's not built on one ethnicity. It's that it can actually encourage people from the rest of the world to come here and build here and be a part of things. I mean, your dad came here to build stuff. Mom came here to build stuff. My dad and mom came here to build stuff, and they did. Like my dad holds patents and taught, thousands potentially of students, hundreds of thousands of students, and worked for the big three. Like the notion that somehow America is better without immigrants, part of me is just like empirically untrue. But then in the conception of somebody like him, impossible to refute because you don't have a contrapositive of what it would have been. And so it was fascinating. My brother, after 9/11, right, my parents were like, oh, you could just go by Sam. He's like, no, my name's Osama. And it's as American as any other name, right? And it was like, I would have been 8.
This discourse was popping off on Twitter, unsurprisingly, about Omar Fateh being like, no one named Omar would be a part of the Revolutionary War. And I always found that ironic because it's like, first of all, that's historically incorrect. And secondly, half of the accounts that were making that argument were like Catholic, papal enjoyer or whatever. And it's like, those guys would literally skin you alive before they would even harm the head of hair on a Muslim's head originally. Like the OG Revolutionary War guys would literally just destroy you for being a Catholic. Far before they would ever get mad at a Muslim person, ironically enough. So,
pick and choose. That's what happens when you pick and choose your history, right? Yeah. Cherry picking history doesn't usually work out for folks.
India. So
I'm an American
you have
citizen.
your own states.
I'm an American,
You're an American citizen?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. I don't know how you got that, but fair enough. Here's the thing.
Are you an American citizen?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But here's the
Not
thing.
sure how you got that, but okay.
Born here.
Okay.
Born here, and my family lineage is settlers from the 1500s, so I have some stake in the claim here, okay?
But you're
a little different.
But you're
than
a
yours.
descendant of immigrants, settlers,
I didn't know.
colonialists.
Yeah,
You
colonials.
don't look very Native American to me.
I am Native American. Whites
not.
are Native Americans. What are
Sorry,
you talking about?
you're not.
What are you talking about?
You're not.
Whites are Native Americans.
Really?
I think
What was
you're-
happening before the 1500s?
I think you're getting confused with.
I don't mind going on a tangent. But what was happening before the 1500s?
Calm down. I think you're getting.
What was happening before the 1500s?
There was indigenous people here that came here from
Do you know
Asia.
what indigenous means?
Listen,
All right, what do you do with this? What do you do with this? This guy's like, whites are Native American. There were indigenous people here. Okay, what does indigenous mean? Like what? How? I don't. Oh my God, it's so stupid.
listen, before
Indigenous
America,
people
Let-
can't
you
come
let
from
me
somewhere
finish?
else.
Why do you ask a question if you're going to interrupt?
I'm not sure if you know what the meaning of indigenous means.
I do know what it means. It
Doesn't
means
sound
they
like it.
came here first, right? They came here from Asia by way of land bridge. Have an argument with Neil deGrasse Tyson or anybody else about that. I don't care.
Is he an
I
American?
genuinely don't.
Oh shit! Never mind. He said it. He said it. Native Americans are Turks. Did you know this?
Really?
No, it's not real. But my grandfather, Turkish people think everyone is Turkish. There's a big like.
I feel like this is true of a lot of groups of people.
Yeah, a lot of people do that, but there's like a big
Unless you're like-
Turonic mythology surrounding Turkish culture, and my grandfather would say that Native Americans, like, they crossed the strait and they're Turks, like they crossed from the Asian plains, so technically they're all Turkic.
There you go.
And there is like some kind of genetic thing that both Native Americans have and Turkic people have. It's like a tooth thing. I don't know, but it's not. It's ridiculous. It's before even like the concept of Turkic peoples
Of like
existed.
an ethno
Yeah.
of ethnicity as a.
Yeah.
I mean, if you step back and you actually think about like what it means to be a member of an ethnicity, right? At some point, like we're talking about humanity originating, people going to different parts of the world, and then adapting to their local climate in ways that punch up certain genetics and punch down certain other genetics, such that we get different colors of skin and different body habituses and different propensities to sweat or grow muscle or run fast or run slow or grow tall or whatever it is. And now like we have this sort of fealty to this idea of like of genetics that have been expressed more or less that we call ethnicity. That's kind of an arbitrary thing, right? It's like your family's been in
It's
a
a completely
Yeah.
arbitrary thing, and especially the association that you place upon it is entirely socially fabricated.
yeah.
That's it.
And the interesting thing is like people want to then, because what makes humans human is our capacity for cognitive engagement. They want to pretend that there's like some cognitive difference between peoples. When part of me is just like, no, actually, in some parts of the world, the sun shines brighter. In some parts of the world, the sun shines less. But no matter what you are as a human being, your propensity for social engagement and cognitive engagement are 100% what makes you human. And so there was like the same pressure to grow cognitively in different places. And so part of me is just like, guys, this makes like these arguments make zero sense when you actually step back and break them down in any scientifically rigorous way. But then again, to the video you played before, like what scientific rigor in the face of the internet? So, maybe I yield.
Yeah.
Care. Yes, he is.
Okay, just checking.
My point is, okay?
Nothing to do with crime. So far, you've agreed with me that these people
Because
are
you're
criminals.
derailing, dude. I'm trying
You
to stay on
literally
track.
sat down and asked me where I'm from. I think you derailed this conversation from the
offended
get-go.
by that, but I'm because
I'm not
I'm always
offended. I'm
curious,
just wondering what it
because
has to do with
I'm
crime.
always curious.
We're going to talk about
why-
immigration. Don't worry. Later on, you can come back.
I hope so.
Right now, you're doing a very bad job of making the case that he's not pro-crime
I just
and
got a
pro-criminal.
round of applause. I could probably get another one actually if I asked for it.
Wow.
So I don't think I'm
is this
doing
how
as
you
bad.
get rounds of
Yeah, he got a bunch of races in a room to agree with him. Fucking sick, dude.
applause? You sit in a room with 20 people who agree with you. Wow, amazing. Amazing. That
Well,
must
wait
make you
till
feel
this comes
good.
out. You know what? I'm
20
actually
people
glad
agree
you're
with
getting
you,
this
applauded you.
emotionally outraged right
Wow.
now. This is great.
I love it.
Do I have to say anything at this point, or are you just going
Please.
to keep going?
No, please.
Okay.
Make your claim.
Well, my claim is that I don't care if it's pro-crime. You want to
Okay,
go back
so-
to the
so I-
topic
so I-
of
so I-
conversation.
that's fine, we agree then. He's pro-crime
But
and you
I have
don't
a
care.
question for you, though. Do you care on the opposite side of the spectrum?
Yes.
Do you care about law being administered
Yes.
to the opposite side of the
Yes.
spectrum?
I think
when they're
anyone
doing
who
the same?
assaults a police officer shouldn't be pardoned. I think that Donald Trump shouldn't have pardoned 9 Republican members of Congress who were convicted of crimes. And I don't think Joe Biden should commit. I don't think Democrats should pardon Democrats.
Fair, but I don't think you understand where we are in the U.S. then.
I think I do.
No, because you're arguing from a position of like a U.S. that doesn't exist anymore. Okay. We're headed towards
nihilism.
Do you think this
no laws, nothing matters.
It's not about
this kid. He looks like he's on the verge of his second divorce.
That's just a rough hairline, man. It's that Turkic genetics.
I mean, maybe. I hope he's not a kid. I mean,
I put him at like 29.
This dude is younger than me. You think?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh hell no!
I just think he's got like really rough hairline. I think he needs to go to Turkey. Let's send that man to Turkey. You know what we do? Honestly, you should raise the money, send that man to Turkey, get him a new hairline. He'd be a lot happier. And he would enjoy the food. He might open his eyes.
I don't think he's 29, but we'll see.
Where will you put him at?
Like 38.
Okay. All right. I'm interested in figuring out how old this guy is.
I'm sure we can find out.
Internet, do your thing.
Conservatives for too long have been playing it safe. They've been playing by the law. They've been playing it by the law. Yes, they have.
Maybe you missed the Bush presidency. Did you live here during the Bush years?
Conservatives are
didn't
so
play by
concerned.
the law, George W. Bush. Nor did Ronald Reagan.
Let's be respectful to you. Let me finish.
I'm not sure you've been that respectful, but okay.
I'm trying to bring it back, so let's both bring it back. Okay. I'm conservative. Okay.
Really?
Let me tell you this. We do play it too safe. We've been playing it by the book for too long. Okay. At this point, gloves are off, right? The left has made their point. They're willing to do...
the police force in Washington, the left?
Yes! Are you kidding me? The left? Are you insane?
Police officers.
Look at LA right here. You think those stand down...
you know what this is? You
think the LAPD are a bunch...
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Were they local or were they national?
These guys, I don't know, but the cops are... They've never been on the left. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it's nuts.
I guess maybe in the USSR, technically, but cops in the United States of America have historically voted overwhelmingly for Republicans. There's never been a case where, like, the ones that don't vote straight ticket Republican will usually be libertarians, which is even funnier because, like, the principle of libertarianism is supposed to be like that you're anti-cop as well. Like the state has a monopoly on violence, right? But like you're the guy who has the monopoly on violence. You're the jackbooted thugs of the state. So shocking that this guy said, oh, did the cops, the Capitol Police that famously brutalized like disabled Medicare for All protesters in the halls of the Capitol, they're actually leftists.
It's because anybody who opposes, I mean, this is the thing. It's like when you're flexible with the idea of what a leftist is and you just define it as anybody who opposes a, fascist would-be authoritarian, then anybody can be reframed as a leftist as long as you disagree with me momentarily, which is like this is like the Trump playbook. I just, the point that you made earlier, which is like young, MAGA, I don't even want to say conservatives, right? Conservative implies a certain kind of ideology that you have to actually stick to, but like young MAGA activists have broken away from any sort of like ideological discipline about anything. And so it becomes just nearly impossible to actually debate on any real terms that are not tribal. Like, you don't look like me, ergo you're not part of this, so your opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah, but half of the Nazis are Hispanic.
I mean,
that's what's also crazy about this is like there are so many prominent neo-Nazis on Twitter and whatnot, and they're just like straight up Mexican from Mexico. I don't even know how that happens. Like, I guess I do understand it, but like, modern fascism has become so much more diverse.
How much do you think about this? Like, this is just about power. It's about feeling comfort with being on the side of power. I mean, I just like, I think a lot about bullies generally. I think you probably experienced your fair share of it. I did when I was a kid. And more often, like the guys who are around the bully are not there because they generally agree with the bully. They're there because there's a comfort in having a proximity to the most powerful person in the room that they perceive as powerful. Yeah. And most of the time, like if you want to beat a bully, you actually don't try and beat his seconds What you try to do is you show him to be not as powerful as he thinks, or you disempower him. And then you try and win over the folks around him, right? By trying to show them that there's another way. And I just think that like so much of this is just about actually like a comfort with power and a fear, not even comfort, it's a fear of power and what power can be done against you. Especially if you're like a Mexican dude and you're like engaging in this fascism. It's just like, hey, maybe if I'm like nice to the fascist won't come and get me. You know, I've been thinking a lot about that, and I think that part of the frustration I have with the Democratic Party is we do this thing with Trump where we venerate his power. He's such a bully, and you're like, yes, okay, what you're showing is he is more powerful than you, and you want to make an appeal to people who care about power on the principle of ideals, and that's just not going to work. Like you have to take him on straight up, and you got to play the same game. And then this is the frustration I have with it is when you
That's why the weird narrative was so good.
Yeah,
like because it took
away that power.
It cut away, especially because he was powerless at that time because he wasn't the president. So making him a laughingstock was such a perfect way to disarm exactly what you're talking about, like the idea that this is like an all-powerful, scary entity, because that's what they rely on.
Right. And then the other part of it is like you got to take away his power, but then we talk about fighting, but a lot of folks who talk about fighting don't. First of all, you don't talk about fighting; you just do it. And second, fighting's ugly, it's brutal. There's like carnage, and the hard part is our own Democratic base will punish you for doing the thing to disempower him that you need to do to show what he is to his own supporters. And that's a really tough nut to crack, right? Like when you go after him and you use the same language against him that he uses against everybody else, people are like, well, that's unbecoming of a politician. You're like, what the, like, take a look at what our politics have become. Right?
I don't think it's that. I don't think that's as big as a force as it used to be. I think because we live in the post-Trump universe now, and Trump is like genuinely reshaped politics, I don't think it matters as much because you got wine moms demanding
like, go get them.
that politicians die. Like they literally are saying, go out and get shot by ICE. I don't care what you do. You need to put an end to this. So I feel like at this point, even the base is up in arms and is very angry at the lack of response from the rest of the Democratic Party and are demanding change and are demanding that they actually do something, anything.
Yeah.
I've seen so many Debras and Barbaras, just like white wine moms, demanding that people do something. Like their Democratic politicians, their Democratic representatives, like go out and fight and even put their lives on the line, like put their lives at risk. So that's where we're at now. So I don't think the vulgarity is as, I'll say it like this. It's only as important as you make it. I mean, you're running for Senate. I keep pointing to the Zoran rule because there were so many instances. I mean, he's a not very well-known guy. He's running for mayor in an incredibly crowded field with people who have much longer track records in New York politics. Okay. And he is uncompromisingly an anti-Zionist. And he spent a lot of time criticizing Israel in his activism before he went into local office and even after he was in local office. And so many people kept consistently saying, oh, he's anti-Semite, like vicious smears, lies. Oh, he's an anti-Semite. And look, you're 40. You remember a time where I suspect if you had any opinion that was remotely critical of Israel and you got branded an anti-Semite, that was a death sentence. Yeah. Whether it be in politics or even in media. Because I remember I've been doing this for 10 years now. And in that process, like it was a death sentence for my career as well if I were to like ever get branded an anti-Semite for my anti-Israel position. But Zoran showed that obviously you can still win on that front without ever compromising on those values at all, especially because like a lot of people also agree with you on this.
Yeah.
So I guess my point is you don't have to actually back away. And it's only as important as you make it. If you turn around and you go, oh, I'm so sorry, I hurt people's feelings or whatever, only then do you breathe fire into this. And it also showcases insincerity, in my opinion. Because like, to back away from a position that you hold near and dear to, like if you're a Medicare for All guy, this is a big part of your, this is a big part of why you're running for office.
It's the reason I got into politics.
Yeah. If you were to back away from that and be like, well, you know, maybe we do need, you know, private healthcare or whatever, then people would turn around and be like, okay, well, why am I fucking voting for you? You know what I mean? Like it would be incredibly disingenuous.
You know, the interesting thing is, like, I grew up fighting quite a bit. Right? I went mainly to schools where I didn't have many folks who looked like me or had names like mine. So I grew up in elementary school. I remember the first time I got my lunch taken from me by a bully. And for the rest of that year, we just moved into that town. The rest of that year, I didn't eat lunch. The next time I moved, I told my dad, I was like, listen, I'm going to get sent home early. And I was like, why? I was like, just trust me on this one. So first kid who came up to me, made fun of my name, I smacked him. And I kept smacking him until they had to pull me off of that kid. And that kid never messed with me again, right? And I'm not looking to start fights, but I'll end them. And the interesting thing is, like, most of my life, right, has been trying to pull away from the instinct of saying, when you see a bully, take them on, into a more high-minded engagement. It's funny because in this moment in politics, it's like, actually, we need you to be a fighter again. I'm like, are you all ready for that? Because, like, I'm an Arab dude named Abdul, right? People don't look kindly on Arab dudes named Abdul who look like me, right, fighting. But there's a question that I have right now, which is to say, what does it mean to be a fighter on behalf of peace? Like that's a question I've been asking quite a bit, because like a lot of folks in the Democratic Party, their whole brain is like, I'm a fighter and I'm going to beat Trump for you. We're going to fight back. And part of me is just like, actually, nobody fights to win the war. You fight to win the peace. I'm just, you know, I'm not interested in being a bully. I'm interested in stopping the bully from bullying. You know what I mean? And I think that question of like how much you're able to do that, particularly as a guy who looks like you or a guy who looks like me, right? In a place where we've had 20 years of people being told that people who look like you and I are dangerous implicitly. That's a question that I'm trying to think a bit about, which is like, there's the real part of my personality, which is hopeful and excited about the things that we can do together. That's a real part of my personality. There's also part of my personality is like, step to me and watch what happens, right? And the question of like how much of yourself you can actually bring to a political conversation or you're allowed to bring is interesting. And it may just be that in this moment, right, folks are so sick and tired of the Donald Trumps, the JD Vances of the world, that I'm actually allowed to be my whole personality. I'm allowed to be both the hopeful, ideologically focused in, like, you know, public health expert that I am, and also, right, the kid who grew up scrapping to make sure that like nobody was being picked on in the schoolyard. And that's always a question I'm thinking a lot about.
Yeah, look, as a politician, your policies are your punches at the end of the day. So I think that the way you present yourself, the way you carry yourself, or how hard you fight with those policies will show people who you have the best interest in mind.
Yeah.
A lot of politicians will care about lobbyist funds. They'll care about the corporate structure that they are there to basically uplift and defend. And I think, like, as long as, I mean, in a weird way, Trump did this very well. Like, he is a bully. He's brash. He's rude. He's awful. But he was able to make it seem, at least to his base of support, that he was a bully for you,
them.
Them, right? And that I think played a very meaningful role in people still to this day holding on to this idea that like Trump has their best interests in mind.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of politicians on the left could learn from that kind of behavior.
I mean, that's the thing, right? It's like, you want to be ideas driven. Like, I'd love to just, you know, if the whole campaign came down to one debate, I'll debate anyone on anything, anywhere, right? And as an ideas driven candidate who wants you to have healthcare and wants you to have to pay less and doesn't want you dominated by a corporation, either in the workplace or in the marketplace, like, I know our ideas win. The question though is that so much of politics right now, especially now, are transacted on your screen, usually on your phone. You know what I mean? And one of the things that I think we're learning a lot about is, you know, you think about the degree to which a lot of the the politicians who are succeeding right now have a background in entertainment, right? There is a certain like engagement with the camera, whether it's Donald Trump and his time on television, or Zoran was a rapper before he went into politics. I think the question of like, how do you engage with folks and get them to be thinking about your ideas in a way that doesn't talk down to them and is transacted in the conversation of the moment, like on the medium of the moment. I think that's the tough part. And your point, right, is like those policies are punches. But Donald Trump never actually had policy, right? He had a narrative. Like he never really. I build the wall, I guess, was his original policy point.
He did have policies that matter in the sense that I would go so far as to say he had the only type of policies that get passed around in American politics nowadays, which is culture war shit.
Yeah.
Because the Democrats have completely dropped any notion that they are interested in improving the material conditions of the American working class. So the only war that is waged in this back and forth political football between the two parties is waged on the virtues of culture war agendas. And since Newt Gingrich, like the Republicans have basically expertly crafted every single culture war agenda item that they will always win on, because they spend every waking moment propagandizing and manufacturing outrage for certain things that aren't real problems at all. And then they are seen as the only people who can offer a solution to the problems that they created. And they do that by lying.
Yeah.
There is no undocumented migrant crime.
Yep.
That's like not a real, that is in the margins. That's not a real problem for Americans. This isn't to say that undocumented migrants are not responsible for any crime whatsoever. They're not, of course, they're human beings. Yeah. Some human beings are going to do crimes no matter what.
But our system picks it up and tabulates it in the same way it tabulates any
exactly.
crime. Yeah.
And not only that, but also there is data available on this, and it shows that undocumented migrants are responsible for less crime per capita than natural-born U.S. citizens are.
And that makes sense because you're like a lot more to lose.
Yeah. Like they are purposely avoidant of law enforcement. They don't want to ever be in a situation where they violate any rule or law where they could potentially be deported. So turns out they do less crime than natural-born U.S. citizens do. And not only that, but also the ones who do engage in crime, of course, are getting subsequently arrested, charged, convicted, and then potentially jailed or deported, depending on the severity of the crime. And yet Trump has been able to so expertly craft this narrative throughout the Biden administration that, like, what, cops were going up and being like, oh, are you, you're a rapist. We caught you. Oh no, you're Guatemalan. Well, you're free to go. Like that was the argument that they were able to successfully create. And the only reason why they were able to create this argument successfully was because there was no counter messaging from the Democratic Party that said, this is a lie. This is wrong.
Yep.
And that migrants make these communities better, and they're a formative part of the American economy, and they give so much more than they even get back.
Yeah,
in return.
To your point, we're not even driving forward on forget a counter narrative. Too often, the Democratic Party doesn't even have a narrative it's pushing. I mean, the crazy thing to me is like, you ask people about the biggest challenges they face when it comes to affordability. The most brutal form of those challenges is healthcare affordability. Like you're stuck paying way too much and you have to worry about falling into debt just to go see a doctor because you got sick. And like, we're not willing to talk about it in large part because we don't have a solution, right? That isn't going to take on a lot of the same corporations that are giving checks to Democrats. And so we just stay silent. So like, it's like Donald Trump has this narrative that starts with the problems that you have and then ends with immigrants. Can't afford a house, immigrants took your house. Can't afford healthcare, immigrants took your healthcare. Don't have a job, immigrants took your job. And like, we need to have a counter response, which is, hey, can't afford a home? Well, it's probably speculation by very large corporations. Can't afford healthcare? Well, it's because very large corporations plied your politicians full of their money and made sure that you had to keep paying more to go see a doctor, and that priced you out. Oh, you're worried about your job? Well, corporations have bought each other up to the point where you get your wages suppressed, and you're paying more for the things that you have to buy from them. Yeah. And like, we're not willing to actually have that conversation in large part because too often Democrats are taking checks from those exact same corporations. So we're mum, and then we're just saying we're not him, as if that's like going to be the thing when 50% of the country voted for him. Like, you got to win those people back.
Yeah. One other way that I do this when I go on like Theo Von or whatever is to explain very simply that like a trans person is not your landlord. You know what I mean? Like your rent is going up because your landlord's putting your rent up. And it's not a trans person that did that. It's not an undocumented migrant that is your boss that is not letting you take time off from work because your family's sick.
Yeah.
That's your boss. This is capital. This is an expression of the power that capital has on your life. And Republicans use vulnerable populations as a distraction expertly to be like, oh, this is, trans people are doing this. Undocumented migrants are doing that. Pay attention to that. And not the people who are robbing you blind. And I think that's like, that's why you see this resentment now against Trump's anti-immigrant agenda. Initially, it was his most popular provision. And now that it has unfolded, the violence has unfolded and people can see it, masked thugs doing dragnet operations and job sites to arrest and subsequently ship off some of the most productive members of our communities, our neighbors, ripping them away from their families and then shipping them into facilities in CCOT in El Salvador. That has caused a lot of enmity and a lot of resentment, even against the Trump administration and the agenda of the anti-immigrant agenda, because people saw how violent this was. And they come to that recognition, but someone needs to steer them in that direction. And that's why we need good leadership. That's why we need better communicators. That's why we need better leaders in the Democratic Party that can actively look at the moment and say, look, they're firing people. They're firing people with Doge. Like a billionaire basically ran his hand through every regulatory agency and fired tens of thousands of federal government employees that have like some of the last remaining good middle income jobs.
That and also like expertise that you can't get back.
Yeah, expertise that you can't get back. And at a time of like unprecedented crisis, you got planes falling out of the sky. There's not enough ATC, air traffic controllers. Food quality, food standards are going down. We are gutting the FDA.
And meanwhile, we just funded an agency that is literally ripping babies from moms. Now I'll say this, like I got two little girls, all right, 2-year-old and a 7-year-old. And there's something about the visceral want for a child, for their parent, that our taxpayer dollars are literally ripping children from their parents. Now look, the crazy thing about this is just kind of go back to where we started on this. I don't know what definition of masculinity says that you can tear moms from babies. Right? And these people who tell you they're so damn masculine, right? What the is taking a baby from a mom? How is that doing that in the name of our country? And the crazy thing is, these kids, oftentimes, they're American citizens. Like the idea that we should take their mom and deport the mom to a different country to protect American citizens when you literally just took the mom away from an American citizen child is fucking insane.
But they want to take that away too. That's why he wants to ban birthright citizenship, because the idea is that like these guys are not American citizens. They're not real full-fledged American citizens.
But even just to like let yourself allow that. Like, I mean, anybody who's ever felt the tug of like a child, like to let yourself do that. I mean, take JD Vance for a second, right? Like take Donald Trump, like he's so pickled that it probably doesn't matter, right? His like essential narcissism won't let him see other people's pain. JD Vance knows better, right? I read Hillbilly Elegy. There is, to be able to write that, you have to have some empathy in your core.
Nah, he's a more vicious kind of evil.
I think he's just willingly killed that part of himself.
No, that part of himself was like expertly crafted to basically present himself to liberals as like the white working class whisperer.
I don't know, man. He has kids though, man. Like part of me just wants to be able to say, like,
he has kids.
You got kids, man. Imagine somebody did that to, like, literally took your kids away from their mom.
I know, but the Doge thing, right? There was one of the Doge guys was like some insanely racist guy who said like, we need more Indian hate. It's not enough. Deport all Indians, right? JD Vance, his wife is Indian. His kids are Indian. JD Vance came out and defended that guy. So he is just like a perfect sociopathic charlatan, brown noser. We got our own version of that on the Democratic Party side too. But I think that kind of like soulless monster that can take up whatever shape necessary to like win is even more terrifying than like a real honest racist. And a real honest racist is still terrifying.
Here's my question though, man. Like, is it? I mean, I just don't understand. I mean, look, I'm running for U.S. Senate. I put my life on hold. I don't have a full-time job right now. Like, if I win the race, I'm gonna get a $50,000 pay cut, right? But like, I just don't understand what's worth it about it. You know, I'm like, if you're not using the job to do a thing that's like meaningful for people, that you can see people and be like, oh, you're categorically happier now because of what I'm doing, and your life is easier, and there's more joy and meaning.
Well, they make a lot of
proximity.
money on the side. Like they do.
But like, there's better ways to make money. Like JD Vance made money. He doesn't need money. I just don't understand.
Power.
But like, to what end? Like, what the fuck is the point of having power if you're not actually making people's lives better? I really like, I actually struggle to understand that. Maybe like makes me a bad politician. But sometimes when I look at some of these people, I'm like, so you have this seat and you have a bunch of people who I guess like look at you, you get to go to a chicken dinner where the food's not even that great. I mean, we had much better chicken here today than most of the chicken dinners. And you're waiting for some MC to say your name so you could stand up and wave to the crowd and people clap for you. Like, I don't understand what the value of all this is if you're not actually making people's lives better in ways that you can see. I don't get it. Like, I truly just don't get it. And I mean, enough people want it so that there's something there, but maybe you got some insight on it. I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, I think they like the social status and the endless prospect of wealth that they get from it, because you're in you're in with like incredibly wealthy people, and you are the first line of defense for incredibly wealthy people and their interests. So you automatically join the ruling class. And
I mean, you are the ruling class, but like, rule for what? And then you die. You know what I mean? Part of me is just like, look, at the end of the day, you're only going to have it for so long.
They're not thinking about it like that. I'm just saying, like, I think it's just, it's ambition, and it's a way to like calcify your legacy. There's plenty of reasons. They're all bad. None of them are for good reasons. They're not there to improve people's lives, for sure. Like, they're not there to actually help others. And it's very obvious. And I would say the same for like a lot of Democrats as well. I mean, this is the entirety of the Republican Party. We saw that with the incredible tax cuts that they just passed. And on the other side of those tax cuts, in order to not trigger too many deficit alarmists, they did some complicated math where they decided, well, these tax cuts are already built in, even though they were supposed to sunset. And then two, they were like, well, in order for the additional taxes, we have to cut Medicaid. We have to cut SNAP, hurting some of the poorest working class individuals in American society.
At least with the Medicaid, like, there's no defending the Medicaid cuts, but like, they're built. I mean, this is a crazy thing. Let's just one aside here. We just had this whole Doge premised on this idea that you're going to fire these unnecessary government workers. They're literally going to build death panels inside Medicaid. They're going to hire a whole army of people whose goal it is to check your paperwork to make sure you got all the necessary paperwork to keep you on Medicaid, right? But like, SNAP is just
not even. They're not. The whole purpose is to flood people with paperwork so they can say, sorry, you don't have the proper paperwork.
That's right.
And then they can, again, AI is perfect for this because it's not supposed to work efficiently. It's supposed to be wrong and broken. That's precisely the reason why United Healthcare, which was like the number one at denial of care, was utilizing AI before the untimely demise of the CEO, Brian Thompson, which we disavow and, of course, condemn. So, you know, it's just they were doing that. They were using AI in the way that AI is supposed to be used, either as a mechanism of creating new targets like Lavender, the AI system in Israel that Israel uses to kill Palestinians and claim that they're Hamas militants, or when United Healthcare is using them to deny people healthcare coverage. And then they can just turn around and say, well, the AI said, the machine is saying that you don't have we can't cover you for this.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting, man. We spend all this time, you talk about all the complexities, and look, it's extremely complex. But in some respects, it's like, I studied complicated things, and politics is just not that complicated at the very core. It's like, you want to elect good people who want to do good things for other good people, you know? And if your politics aren't doing that, at some point we like kid ourselves with these complex ideologies, and not ideas, just ideologies, to try and back justify why it's okay to have some bad people in positions of power. And then it attracts a lot more bad people because we've created the intellectual architecture that justifies it. And, you know, it's like, sometimes when I'm crisscrossing the state, there's some, like, I walk out of a town hall, and somebody will share something with you. I mean, this is very similar to like the practice of medicine. People will share really vulnerable things with you, and they're just like, can you please help me with this? And you're like, I'm going to do my best to try. And then you walk out of there, and some days, like, honestly, like I struggle to fall asleep because I'm like, if this person only knew just how malevolent the people who are making decisions on their behalf have become and just how little they care, like it would crush this person. And you got to like hold that and like live with that. And I don't know, man, I just hope that like, if I do get elected, part of me just says like, it's like keeping that simplicity and keeping like a foot to the ground. Cause I don't ever want to start getting myself in this position where like, well, if you do that and you do this other thing, then maybe you can get to more power. So then you could do more good things. And then soon enough, you never actually do the good things you thought you wanted to do.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I mean?
how, what's the term? There was the Silicon Valley guys that built this ideology around it, effective altruism.
Yeah.
It's that principle. It's like, oh, I have to be the singular force of power and get as much money as possible so I can do the right things and I can manage this wealth and power and prosperity much better than like the average citizen can.
It's like the Thanos argument.
Yeah, it's bullshit. All right, let's get back to what's not bullshit, racism.
The liberal Marxists.
No, but I
Really?
think they listen to liberal Marxists who tell them what to do.
Okay.
I think they listen to who signs their paychecks at the end
Can
of
I
the day.
just
who
check,
are
because
liberal
you're doing
Marxists.
lots of little diversions. We both agree Donald Trump's pro-crime, you're just fine with it.
No,
Is that the position?
I don't
That's what you've
agree
said
with
so
your-
far
I don't
for about
agree with your
5 minutes.
I don't agree with your definition
What's
of
your
crime.
definition of crime?
It doesn't
Stomping
matter.
on a police officer's head
No,
is not
what-
a crime.
no,
That's your
what I'm
definition
saying-
of crime as the
He keeps getting
Native
me out of it.
American.
I am Native American.
If you say so.
So going back to the topic at hand, we have different definitions of crime because you're
That's
talking
convenient. There's
It's
a
not
criminal
about-
code
it's
in
not
this.
I love how Republicans have completely become the cultural Marxist that Jordan Peterson claimed they used to be, like, or the left used to be, where it's like, well, what is crime really? Like he's like, let's get down to the definition of the term crime. Let's break it down. Really, I mean, is it really a crime? It's like, dude, are you an anarchist? Like, what do you mean? Well, what is crime really? Like, it's just. It's bullshit. Like,
I mean, it's the same sort of secondary bullshit, which is like, well, we can justify this because it was for a greater outcome. And you're like, no, you cannot. I mean, just think about like all of the logical gymnastics that seemingly well-meaning people had to do to justify Donald Trump back when he first came down the escalator. You're like, this dude, you would not let this dude babysit your children. And that to me should be like the simple basic thing that like if I left my children with you, they would be safe because you would pay enough attention to them. You would not hurt them yourself.
I would let.
Like,
I don't think I'd let any American president if I had children alone with my children.
I mean, but like this man just like strains credulity. Like he's the kind of person you want to protect your kids from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like literally, he's the kind of person you're just like, no, actually, you will never have access to my kids because you are patently immoral. Like, and people justified that in the name of morality. It's the same shit.
Maybe Obama. I mean, but he smoked cigarettes. So I mean, he did a lot worse.
I don't think he smokes cigarettes in front of your kids. Though. I'd be happy
like,
to let.
I hate to admit, I'm not like the biggest fan, but I think Obama would probably be the only person that would be like a competent babysitter.
Well, Carter would have been. I would have maybe Carter in his younger years.
Again, we're now separating the man from the position and what they've done. Because once again, same with Carter, same with Obama. If we're looking at like their impact on the global stage,
Post presidency, Carter was
sure
was an angel.
Yeah, sure, he would be great as a babysitter.
It's called the U.S. Criminal Code.
You know what? Let's focus
That's
on
what
what we
everyone
agree on.
focuses
I'm
on.
sure you and I actually agree on a lot
Do we
more than
agree
you
that
realize.
people shouldn't stomp on police officers' heads? Can we agree on that? If you don't agree on that, then I really think this conversation is kind of
No,
pointless.
because first of all, you're saying what? That the police have the authority, that they're given the authority. I don't accept the authority that's been
it's a
given by
very
liberal
conservative
Mark.
position.
I'm
the conservative are pro-police.
Then you
Or
don't
we
know what a
redefine-
real.
Yeah, what
Hey,
happened to,
listen,
like,
you're
rule of
redefining
law?
juggernauts right now.
We
Okay?
redefined
I'm telling you right now,
conservatives.
you are going to be blown
I
open
mean,
if you think that my
if we're going to
position is
struggle with the
hard, right?
English
You
language
have
for the
no
next couple of
idea
hours, then yeah,
what you're
we'll
up
struggle.
against right now. Okay.
100%.
Yeah. Newsflash: the conservatives are liberal to me. Okay. Neocons, libertarians, all those mainstream people, there might as well be
like a-
leftists
like
to
a
me.
MAGA
Okay? That's
edgelord.
how far to the right I am.
Make sure
Do
you
you understand my
answer the
position?
phone.
So when
I
you
kinda
say,
guessed it when you
when
sat
you
down.
say, about obeying police. Why would I give the authority to police? Do you know
think-
you're in America?
Do you think Donald Trump should
you're
be
in America?
pardoning 9 members of Congress
Do you
who
know
committed
who-
financial crimes? Do you
When someone says like Democrats are nowhere near as left enough for me. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Like, finally, a reasonable person. When someone says the modern iteration of the Republican Party is nowhere near as hard right enough for me, I'm like, what more do you want? Do you want to line up every person and have like a color blocker and see like if they go beyond a certain point of pale, they just get 360 no scoped? Like, what do you want? They're already doing everything that you want. Like, this administration is doing virtually everything that these guys want, and they still want more. I don't understand. Do you want to like go back to the old school Nazi attitudes of being like, well, the Slavs are also not white? Like, is that what we're doing? Is that because this administration is giving or pretty much everything that these guys wanted,
except for the Epstein files.
Well, that
I want to ask him about the Epstein.
No, but I just don't. I don't understand. Like, God, conservatives are so fucking spoiled. I wish I could like live in a world where you know my representatives on my side of politics was giving me a fraction of what I wanted with the same severity that like conservatives will offer them everything. Because it's not like they're running on material change in the positive direction. They're running on fucking tax cuts and deregulation. These guys are too stupid to recognize that doesn't actually help them in the short term nor in the long term. But like they are promising that and they're delivering on that. And then on top of that, it's all culture war shit. And they get all of the culture war shit.
This is the thing about they've decoupled the conservative movement from MAGA. Like this guy could care less about actual conservatism. He doesn't have a real fiscal perspective. He doesn't think critically about this issue. I don't think
conservatives have had that either for a long time. I think MAGA is the logical conclusion of years and years of modern conservatism.
In the internet era, yes. I think like if the internet never came about, like, and we didn't have this complete splitting and algorithmic like amplification of certain, like some of the worst shit, I think we might have avoided this. But you're right. Like what this guy comes for is the tribalism. That's what he comes for, right? And I actually think that like there are a lot of conservatives who have felt some kind of way about like the implicit racism on the culture war side of traditional conservative, like the conservative party baking. And I think in some respects now it's just decoupled and they're all trying to like figure out how to roll together. And this guy could care less about like, I frankly, I don't think he care less about tax cuts, right? He's just in it for tribalism. And that's why he says like, I don't know why you're doing all this other stuff.
Sure. That's why you see some of the populist right, like the Tucker Carlson wing, that say that they care about, like even Josh Hawley that says that he cares about like defending people's benefits. Yeah. But when push comes to shove, they don't.
You're right. They don't.
And they don't get punished for it either by their base, because ultimately they do actually love latching on to all the racist shit. And they're like, okay, well, as long as I'm getting the racist stuff, then it's fine. I don't know. I think that this has always been at the heart of conservatism in general. And I don't mean like the Republican Party. I just mean like conservative, like reactionary politics in general revolves around this kind of notion that like there is an in-group and they must dominate the out-group. The out-group is both weak and strong at the same time. That must be brought to heel. And this is just like the logical conclusion of decades of success for the conservative movement. This is like the post-Reagan era.
Yeah, this is what Gingrich had in mind.
Yeah, I mean, this is the post-Reagan era of conservatism, because like that was, if the New Deal Democrats reigned supreme from FDR onwards, and then like I guess the death of that movement was finalized under the Carter administration, and then Ronald Reagan changed discourse into the right direction, where now the Democrats were following the Republicans on messaging. This is the logical conclusion to MAGA.
I gotta ask you, quick macro check. How much chicken do you do? 12 ounces. 12 ounces. How much? What's your like protein per day? The goal?
I try today. I'm not going to hit that because like I said, I'm on a severe deficit.
Yeah. I mean, you've been fasting like most.
Yeah, and I've been fasting as well because I've just overate a lot, and I didn't even calculate it while I was overeating. But under normal circumstances, 225 grams of protein.
Yeah, it's good.
But a little bit higher than that usually.
Yeah, I do. I try to go like 180, I probably should be doing a little bit more.
How much do you weigh?
I weigh 210.
Damn, you're dense.
I'm very
210.
very dense.
Damn,
At
we got 20
5'8".
pounds. We got 20 pounds between you and me. That's crazy.
And he's like literally a whole head off taller than
That's crazy. I'm 6'4". Yeah, you're brolic. Yeah, I eat like I said, I eat like 230 pounds.
That's good. That's good.
Well, and I have noticed in my own body, if I don't eat enough protein, I'm more susceptible to injury.
Yeah.
My recovery is not as efficient. Like that, it's truly important to make sure that you hit your daily protein needs, especially if you're working out and you're active.
You do fiber? Because that's the other big one. Like that's the one that most folks miss. Like, so I
mean, I just had a whole salad.
That's great, but that's actually really good. The key thing is, actually, I'm gonna put it out there: beans, and then psyllium husk-based bread. So like I do a keto bread you actually get at Costco. Those things are packed with fiber, but like the big from like health risk standpoint, the biggest probability that you have of death is going to be either by heart attack or now, especially young people, is colon cancer. We're seeing like a way higher increase in colon cancer. We can't really explain. And the best arguments are around fiber density. So I actually track beyond protein. I track omega-3s and fiber daily, and that fiber one is like the hardest one to hit.
Okay. All right. Oh, also, how much longer do you plan on staying here?
I probably got to roll in like 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Because I don't want to keep you.
This guy's
past
got
the
like
point.
incredible stamina, man.
I'm gonna keep going. Of course.
I feel like you've been. I mean, so you had your first vacation what, years?
Yeah. Well,
how'd that feel, man? Like you wake up and like, how do you feel your day? I mean, I feel
it
like
wasn't even a vacation; it was a weekend.
fair. I mean, it was like,
ironically enough, because I've never even taken a weekend off in years. I literally have not taken 3 days in a row off, with the exception of being banned.
wow.
I got banned for some comments about American foreign policy, and then got banned again for calling someone a cracker.
I heard about both of these things.
Yeah, anti-white racism, which is really, really damaging. I'm so sorry. But with the exception of those two instances, I've never been off stream for more than 2 days ever, and that's usually for travel or I'm doing something someone else's stream.
So how did it feel for like 3 days to like not do this?
If I hadn't been drinking so much and eating like a cow, I would have probably felt better, because we did a lot of activities. We did a lot of fun stuff. I flew a fighter jet, a stunt jet, a stunt plane that has all of the movement
you have
capabilities.
pilot's license?
No, I don't.
So how did this? I mean,
America. No, literally, we went to Vegas and they just
who the fuck allowed you to do that?
They let you fly. They literally let you fly a fucking
That's insane.
stunt.
So I mean, but like somebody else like took off and landed, right?
Yeah, someone else.
Okay,
took
so you
off.
got to like maneuver it in the air.
Yeah, yeah. But
Okay,
when
I'm
you're
just imagining
5,000
like,
feet in the
all
air,
right,
it
let's see how
doesn't
this
matter. Yeah, yeah. No, we did dogfighting.
Damn.
So like I literally flew against another person and shot them with it's like laser tag.
Wow. Did you win?
Yeah.
Nice.
It was sick.
Nice.
Shot some guns. I didn't do that.
Did you know the
'cause I
other
was
person in
too-
the other plane?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it was one of them was my cousin.
So
Destroyed him.
How did this play relative to the drinking?
We were very hungover. I was very queasy at first. I was like a little worried.
How many G's did you hit?
7.
Damn.
But I didn't.
You didn't splat all over the inside of the plane.
No, I didn't
good.
pass. I didn't pass out. I didn't throw up. There was someone in our party that did throw up, and a couple people passed out.
Ugh.
But that's like
In the plane?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
'Cause-
I hope they're not doing G's while like, because that just sounds like a
No,
a
they
mess.
were doing G's, and they did pass out because like I think there's past a certain point where
which, yeah.
you will literally pass out unless you're like super well trained. Like I think 10 G's is like
Yeah.
they try to hit that.
You know what's
on
interesting?
purpose.
The same bearing down you do when you squat. That's the best way to avoid passing out when you do G's.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Wait,
Because
maybe
if you-
that's why I didn't pass out.
Because if you think about it, right, what's happening when you bear down is you're compressing everything so that you can bear the weight, go down and push, and when you push, that everything sort of stays up, right? And you're actually experiencing G's under both like weight under the bar and then weight that you're pushing back up on. So if you build out your core, right, what you're experiencing when you do G's is literally all your blood pooling down because the gravity's working on your blood, right?
Yeah.
And so if you've got a strong core and you're used to pushing, like compressing
Yeah, that's
everything
what they
down.
told me. They told me
you
like
keep
flex your core and your legs and your
Yep,
quads.
it's the same bear down. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I didn't think about that. I mean, I'm also like being 230. If you hit 10 Gs, you're like 2,300 pounds.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was exhilarating. It was a great
That's
experience.
awesome, man. I got to figure out how to like do this. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Cranking the yoke and then just like having that immediate response of like pulling it back and then like your face sinks in all of a sudden is exhilarating. It's like it's way more fun.
I'm not gonna lie. I was
coasters.
super guilty for liking Top Gun because I was just
Why?
like this.
It's a great
Well,
movie.
I'm like the whole movie's about the war machine. to be
I know,
fair.
but I mean, it's a great movie. Who cares?
It was a great. I was super entertaining. But like flying a fighter jet sounds awesome. I'm glad you got to do that, man. That's great. Like you spent your day. I feel like you made up for the lost time on vacation.
Yeah,
But
and then we did we did trophy truck racing too.
Oh, that's awesome.
Baja, that was cool too. But like after the plane experience and doing like stunts, because I was like barrel rolling, you know what I mean? I was upside down on the plane, like I'm trying to chase after the other plane so I can hit it from behind. After the adrenaline rush of that, the Baja racing was nothing. I was just like I didn't even feel anything.
I usually look over and see Hasan's face is just
Yeah, it was.
Flatline.
Yeah, I was cranking it. I was slamming the fucking accelerator, trying to get as much height as I possibly could off of these like sand dunes, but it wasn't doing it. It wasn't doing it for me.
I feel like
after that.
you should have done that and then gone to the plane. Yeah, you got to kind of architect these things. Dopamine, man, is a hell of a drug. Once you max out on it, everything else is.
So before we let you go, how can people help? How can people lend support if they liked what you had to say here? And what are you looking from? Like, what are you in need of right now?
Yeah, so I'm in a competitive primary. It's going to be a long race. The election in the general election is November of 2026, and the primary is August of 2026. But we're building a movement. So I hope folks will do a couple things for me. First, go follow us on socials, right? At Abdul Al Sayed on TikTok, on unfortunately X, on Instagram. I hope that if you like what I'm sharing, that you'll promote us, and then go to abdulforsenate.com. I don't take corporate money. I never have. I'm the only Democrat in this. I'm only candidate in this race who never has, and yet we fundraise in the top 10 of all campaigns in the last quarter, Democrat or Republican, because we do this the old-fashioned way. So, folks want to chip us off $5, $10, something a little bit more. I hope that you'll consider doing that. That's abdulforsenate.com. Hasan, it was awesome to get to meet you. Like literally, I got to like Hasan and I have been texting, but we never met. Obviously, we watched a ton of your stuff. So like I literally roll in the front door, roll right onto the mic. I'm like, all right, we're doing this. So this was a lot of fun, man.
Trial by fire.
I love it, man. I really appreciate you making the space and the time. Next time I'm in town, what we got to do is we got to get a lift together.
Oh, for sure.
It'd be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for
appreciate
coming
man.
on.
Thank you again. All right, just because I don't want to be a bad guest, where should I put this?
Here, I got it. Don't worry.
sure?
I'm going to throw it out right now.
And you mind if I use your
It's
facilities on the
first
way?
left
All right,
when
friends.
you get out. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Abdul for Senate, Abdul El Sayed, and hold on, let me fix this. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, we are going to continue on with the hellish nightmare of Jubilee now.
If I can remember
Are
his
you
name
pro
right, because
financial
it's so-
crime?
Do you
Are
know
you pro
Thomas-
financial crime?
Do you know
All
who
right,
Thomas
pause.
Timbo is?
Pause.
I think the people who clapped you have voted you out.
All right. Head back to your seat. You've been voted out by the
conservatives.
majority.
Nice to meet you. Hello,
there.
sir. How are you?
Hey, so I'm going to be as respectful about this as possible, but the truth is your claim is completely bad faith. You do not care about being anti-crime. You yourself are pro-crime. Your side is pro-crime because you're a progressive.
How am I pro-crime?
So I'll give you an example, right? So your side, not Donald Trump, has passed a series of laws in California. Let's go with California. It's where we are right now. It's where I'm from. I don't know. Are you from California?
No.
Or? Okay. So in California, for example, the state legislature, completely progressive, just passed a law that limits sex offender registration to 10 years. It was life before. That's pro-crime. The legislature in California, which is progressives again, has passed a law that says the voter-induced 3-strike law is no longer absolute. If someone murders someone, stabs someone on 3 separate occasions, a judge now does not have to give them life. That's a progressive law. That is pro-crime. You support that, don't you?
I actually don't support sex offenders coming off a list. I think they should be on for life.
Okay, so you disagree with progressives.
So hold on. You and I both agree that sex offending is a bad thing, especially child sex offending, right?
It seems like you and I agree on that.
I agree
the
on that.
legislature of California doesn't.
So I'm not here to debate the legislature of California. I'm here to debate Donald Trump being pro-crime.
But
and I'm saying that Donald Trump was friends with Ghislaine Maxwell. When Ghislaine Maxwell, who's the worst child sex trafficker of our lifetime, she's serving over 20 years. Do you know Ghislaine Maxwell?
Yeah, she's actually not. Jeffrey Epstein's the worst sex trafficker.
He's dead. I'm talking about people who are alive right now.
Dude, wow, what an incredible argument. It's actually not. Jeffrey Epstein is the worst. Not her second in command. Okay, Donald Trump fucking likes him too. What's up? Not the argument that you want to make, I don't think. God, these guys are such goddamn nerds, bro. Actually, the second worst.
Interesting, though, you didn't use his name, right? Wouldn't he be the one who did this?
Oh, great. I'm glad you brought up Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein, before he died, did an interview with Michael Wolff. He's on tape. I don't know if you've heard the tape. He says, my closest friend was Donald Trump. I was his closest friend. Elon Musk, I'm not sure if you've heard of him. He tweeted recently that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files. Yes. And Ghislaine Maxwell, who was the right-hand woman of Jeffrey Epstein, when she was on trial for child sex offending, which you and I are opposed to, Donald Trump stood up and said, good luck to her. I wish her well. So
he did say that. That's true. Very weird. But that is a thing that he fucking said.
Yeah, that makes him pro-crime and pro-criminal if he's being soft on child sex traffickers,
well, you just said they
like
were his
Epstein.
Friends. He's
no, I'm saying he was friends.
I love Mehdi, but honestly, God, his premises are they're so liberal. I don't know how else to describe it other than that. His like, Donald Trump is pro-crime and pro-criminal is like, yeah, it is. Like, I think we got to get more creative when dealing with fascists nowadays. Like, you know, fascists need to go to prison permanently, you know, or things like what the partisans did to Nazi collaborators wasn't wrong, and maybe an important, an important method of dealing with modern versions of fascist movements, things like that. Don't you dare criticize Mehdi. You wish you could debate like him? No, I would never call into question his skills as a debater. He's great. And it does seem like he was blindsided by how openly and transparently fascist they were. Like, to be fair, if you're not in the spaces that I'm in, this is unironically next level brain rot where you don't realize like how much of the modern American right-wing movement is just objectively fash, especially under the age of like 35. Like, this was a shocking revelation for a lot of my normie friends who hit me up after this, and they're like, what the fuck is going on, bro? I'm like, dude, have you ever met like a 25-year-old right-winger? Like, young American conservatives are all like this. They're just insane freaks. I mean, who do you think was putting up the black sun on the Ron DeSantis campaign, you know? Like, they don't realize that so much of the youth movement in this country is just like straight up neo-Nazi. So much of it. And I guess like my brain is so broken because I have to deal with these guys online all the time and like the fans of these guys all the time. Like, so I'm kind of used to it. Whereas like the only time Mehdi actually talks to a fucking straight up neo-Nazi is when he's like debating some Israel defender, you know? So I'm sure he's like used to it from that angle, but he's not used to like the American Hitler Youth and what kind of sentiment they are circulating around in their field of discourse.
Was friends with Epstein. You haven't seen the videos? They danced together, partied together. Epstein said I was his closest friend.
He's not supported the pedophilia part. The only people supporting pedophilia
that's not
are
true.
the left.
Trump gave a speech about 20 years ago where he said Epstein's a great guy. He loves young women. A lot of them are very young. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, laugh, laugh. So yeah, I think he's pro-crime and pro-criminal.
So you think he's soft on sex offenders? Do you have any friends?
Aren't you a neo-Nazi? You're constantly discriminating other people because they disagree with you. Do you think that's what a neo-Nazi is? Discriminating against other people because they disagreed with me. Do you think a difference in opinion is the same as like unchangeable qualities about a person, like the color of their skin or where they're from? That's what being a fascist is. Saying someone who has like horrible opinions is stupid is what makes someone a Nazi. Are you okay? Not liking conservatives is the biggest crime we commit against them. Yeah, and they will never stop me. I will consistently continue to dislike reactionary thought. They're not even in chat anymore. I don't think they ever were. I don't even think they're existing on the same planet. I like your style right now. Fits you better than the Gen Z fits. I like both. I want to see if they've seen or said anything else. Oh, nope. First statement. Following is January 20th, 2021.
Criminals?
Not that I know of. Certainly not child sex offenders. No, do you?
No, of course not.
Okay, so we're both in agreement again. So why are you defending Donald Trump?
If it came out tomorrow that one of your friends was a child sex trafficker,
you know what I'd do?
You'd stop being friends with them.
Yes.
Yeah,
and I wouldn't say...
And then I'd go on TV and I would say, oh, look, Mr. Hassan was friends with this guy 10 years ago. Therefore, he's pro-child sex trafficking.
What if Mr. Hassan said, I wish them well when they're on trial? Wouldn't you ever go at me for that?
You wish your friend well on trial?
Yeah, child sex trafficker. Would you be mad?
I wouldn't wish someone well, but that's
Donald
your
Trump
gotcha.
did.
That's your gotcha.
It's a pretty big...
I mean, would you ever let anyone go if they were liberal and they were saying that? No. I don't think you would. I think the only reason why you're saying that right now is because Trump is the one who said it. That's fucking insane. That's your gotcha? That my favorite president wished a prolific sex trafficker of minors well? Excuse me, what is he supposed to do? Break her out of prison? You're going to find a way to make that seem normal too.
Gotcha.
He wished a friend
pretty big gotcha.
Okay.
He praised the
what you're really trying to do right now is you're trying to get back to Donald Trump on a personal level. Let's talk policy. What's his policy?
Oh, you want to talk policies?
Yes.
So when he left office in 2020, he left behind the highest murder rate for over 100 years.
He left behind the highest murder rate? That is the most bad faith claim you could possibly make.
It's a fact from the CDC data.
And you know what? Here's why it's bad faith.
Can I finish a sentence and then you can come back in?
You're just lying to people. Donald Trump.
I'm lying? Can I finish the sentence?
Donald Trump does not cause the murder rate. Murder is a state level crime.
That's hilarious.
Gavin Newsom is more responsible for the murder rate than Donald Trump is.
That's hilarious. So Donald Trump's not responsible for murder rate, but other politicians who are Democrats.
Yes, because it's a state level law. That's like saying I'll say Republicans are too. State governors who are soft on crime are the ones that are responsible for murder rates. Let me finish the sentence.
When Donald Trump left office in 2020, between 2019 and 2020, according to data from the CDC, from the FBI, from Pew Research.
Oh God, what the fuck? What is that? What? I'm sorry. What is peeking out from the corner? At first, I was going to make fun of this classic young American conservative fit, but that is crazy. Someone said Pringles guy has fallen. Oh my God. They got a magician? They got a magician?
The 30% increase in the murder rate between 2019 and 2020. It was the single biggest jump in the murder rate since 1905.
And
so he's pro-crime
who's doing the murdering?
And pro-criminal.
Who's doing the murdering?
The murderers.
So aren't they responsible
for
the murder rate?
But why did it go up on his watch?
What?
Why did it go up on his watch?
Gee, that's very bad.
Wait. Who's doing the murder? Aren't the murderers responsible for the murder? Then why do you care about who governs? Because you're so hyper individualistic in an effort to defend Donald Trump that like policies don't matter at all. They just seemingly, there is no way to I don't know, lower the murder rate. And the only reason why it has consistently gone down since like the 70s is because what? People just magically got better. Wait, I have an idea. America became more diverse since the 70s. Perhaps that's the reason. Okay. That's what I'm going to go with. More immigrants. More immigrants. That's why the murder rate is lower now.
That's
He's
a real
very bad
hard
at fighting crime
That's a
for
real hard one to
Republicans.
figure out, right? We shut down the whole economy during COVID. We told everyone they couldn't go out unless it was to violently protest. We told people that if a cop tries to arrest you, that cop's probably going to get charged with murder.
No, I think the pandemic had a lot to do with it.
Right,
But the
so
pandemic
did he
didn't
cause
finish
that?
in 2020.
What?
The pandemic didn't finish in
No, but
2020.
you asked why the murder rate
and
went
yet
up.
we're
The
going to
murder
play the
rate
what
went up
about game.
because of
You
all
guys
these
blame Joe
factors.
Biden for crime for years.
What Joe
For
Biden
years.
actively induces policies that are pro-crime. I'm asking
So
you
does
for
Donald Trump. Okay.
Name the policy
I'll
that's
name one right
pro-crime.
now. I'll
Please,
name one right
I've asked
now.
you for like 10 minutes.
I'll name
Please
one right
do
now.
that.
No, you haven't actually. You talked
What,
about
some of them-
California legislatures. He pardoned violent criminals
That's
who
not-
then went
that's
on
not a policy.
to
Did
commit
he
other
dec-
crimes. You don't think releasing violent crimes into
A
the
pardon is
community?
a one-time thing. What's his policy
Do you know-
he has pushed? Name a law he
Hold
has
on,
signed.
a pardon
What
is a
law has he
one-time
signed?
thing. Is a policy is not one-time
That's
thing.
like Jimmy Carter pardoned the
You
draft. No,
guys
listen.
may want to dodge January 6th, the pardons.
I'm not dodging that.
Then
Jimmy
deal with
Carter.
it. Did you agree with
I'm
them?
gonna right now.
Do you agree with
Jimmy
them?
Carter
Do you
pardoned
agree with
draft
the pardons?
dodgers. Does that mean his
I don't,
policy was
I don't
no one
support
has to?
Jimmy Carter. Do you
Okay.
support the pardoning of people who went on to be prosecuted for sexually abusing a 7-year-old child, illegal gun possession, reckless homicide?
Now, see,
These are
there's
people who
more bad
released.
faith. See,
These
there's
are
more
people who
bad
released
faith.
from
He
prison.
didn't pardon someone for sexually abusing a
No, but
child.
they went on.
No, they did. No, he's wrong. They literally did. As a matter of fact, Trump administration's prosecutors argued that because the child sex abuse charges were discovered in the process of the January 6th offenses, that they quite literally made an argument that it should not be he should not be charged for it. They said that this guy would not have been outed as a pedophile if it wasn't for the J6 investigation because of the other crime that he committed on January 6th, but because Donald Trump was pardoning him for the January 6th offenses, that he shouldn't be charged with this as well. Yes. 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 How fucking nutty is that? Also, so many of them went back to prison or died by cop. It's kind of crazy that these guys were just like Final Destination style, destined to either die by cop or go back to prison anyway. It's kind of wild. I guess it's not that wild that so many of them were straight up sex offenders and pedophiles when you think about it, really. But it is kind of wild.
To be
Pardoned
convicted
someone
of it.
for
So
rebelling
that's
against the government that they believed
No,
had
they-
rigged elections. That's what he pardoned them for. He didn't pardon them
Like,
for
since they're pardoned, they've gone back to prison. Yes, a lot of J6ers literally were arrested for other charges. A suspicious amount related to CSAM. Isn't that wild? Is that not wild? It's wild to me. Pardon January 6th rioter on run from solicitation of minor charge arrested. Texas authorities arrest Andrew Take in connection with charges filed before the U.S. Capitol attack. There are a bunch of stories like this. But when you think about it, I guess getting arrested for storming the Capitol is like almost self-selecting. Here's another one. January 6th defendant killed by police days after Trump pardon. Indiana man who was pardoned by U.S. President Donald Trump over the U.S. Capitol riot was killed by police during a traffic stop days later. Matthew Huddle, 42, was shot and killed on Sunday when police pulled up his vehicle over and he allegedly resisted and ended up in an altercation with an officer. It remains unclear what he was being arrested for. Police added that Huddle had a firearm in his possession during the traffic stop. January 6th defendant sentenced to life in prison for plotting to kill FBI special agent who investigated him. President Donald Trump's mass pardon of January 6th rioters did not apply to Edward Kelly's separate plot to murder law enforcement officials, Justice Department said. Houston man pardoned by Trump, arrested on sex traffic charge. Oh, this is Andrew Take. This is the same guy, isn't it? Yeah. It's like, if you're going to be a pedophile, move in silence, right? Like, not giving any tips to pedophiles here, but like, pick a struggle, Like, you're a pedophile and you were like, as a pedophile, you're storming the Capitol. It's like you're begging to be caught. I mean, seriously. Alleged U.S. Capitol rioter who heckled police for protecting pedophiles served jail time for statutory rape of 14-year-old girl. January 6 rioter whose case was tossed after Trump pardon arrested on pending weapons charges. Florida man who prosecutors allege attacked police with an explosive device during January 6 assault on the Capitol, whose case was dropped following President Trump's sweeping pardons and commutations issued Monday, was arrested on Wednesday on pending federal gun charges, according to court records. Here's at least 10 of the pardoned insurrectionists facing other criminal charges. Emily Hernandez pleaded guilty in entering and remaining in a building in restricted grounds after Trump's pardon. She was sentenced to 10 years in prison for causing a drunk driving accident in 2022 that killed one person and injured another. According to prosecutors, Ball attacked police officers with an explosive device during the insurrection. He was rearrested days after Trump's pardon for illegal gun possession, given his felony record for domestic violence and strangulation. David Daniel, according to prosecutors, Daniel was part of the attempt to break through the barricaded Senate door and pleaded guilty to resisting police officers. He remains in custody after Trump's pardon on possession of child sexual abuse materials, charges brought in 2024. Shane Jason Woods. Woods pleaded guilty to assaulting police and a press photographer. After Trump's pardon, Woods was convicted in April for multiple counts, including reckless homicide and driving under the influence in 2022. Theodore Middendorf. Middendorf pleaded guilty to destruction of government property on January 6. He was previously sentenced in 2024 to 19 years in prison for sexually assaulting a 7-year-old and remains in prison. Taylor Toronto. Toronto was convicted of several crimes related to January 6, including possession of an unregistered firearm. He was arrested in 2023 for illegal gun possession and making a threat to blow up the National Institute of Standards and Technology and was convicted this May. Brent John Holdridge. Holdridge pleaded guilty to parading, demonstrating, or picketing in a Capitol building on January 6. He was arrested in May for stealing tens of thousands of dollars worth of industrial copper wire. This one's funny. And faces charges of burglary, grand theft, and possession of stolen property. Okay, this one's just a crackhead. Let him go, Zachary Alem. Alem was sentenced to 8 years in prison for his role in the insurrection. After Trump's pardon, he was rearrested in May for an alleged home invasion and theft. A lot of heroes here, chat. This is before we talk about the guys who got killed by cops in subsequent stops where they were like resisting arrest and shit. And it's like, to be fair to the fucking insurrectionists, if you fight cops with your fists and you crush their skulls, and then the president literally offers you a public pardon, you're gonna think you can do that again to cops, I suspect. And it turns out you can't do that to cops outside of the Capitol Police at the behest of the then President Donald Trump, who became president again. You can't do that to cops under normal circumstances, it seems. I don't know why you're making fun of these upstanding, possibly white Native American heroes. True. It's bad when the crack addict is the least bad one? Yeah. So just remember, some wonderful guys that Donald Trump chose to pardon here. And then, I guess nature ran its course. They were destined to be in federal prison somehow, some way, one way or another. These motherfuckers were going to jail, dog. It was gonna happen no matter what.
Sexual child abuse.
But they were criminals who committed those crimes. He let them out, so that means the crime rate goes up.
So you say they're criminals because they did the crime, right? Yeah. Would you extend that to illegal immigrants, that they're all criminals because they committed a crime? I have a feeling your position is going to change.
We're going to talk about immigration.
Someone who's illegally entered the United States, not a criminal, but somebody who illegally entered the Capitol is.
Not according to the Supreme Court of the United States.
Yeah, what is a fucking civil offense, dude? What the fuck are you talking about? Yes, crossing the border illegally is nowhere near as severe of an offense as fucking pummeling a cop. Look, I don't want to. Oh my God. These motherfuckers got me defending. These motherfuckers got me defending January 6th like a liberal, okay? Holy shit. Yeah, dude. There's a difference between, like, I don't know, jaywalking and fucking doing an insurrection. What the fuck?
The Supreme Court has said that anyone who enters the United States illegally
Supreme
is not a
Court,
criminal.
and we can jump to future claims.
Can I get the
We
case
can
site?
jump to 20. You want to get the case?
The case site, please. You said the Supreme Court
the
said,
citation of the case.
Yes, that entering the United States illegally is not a crime.
It's called Arizona versus United States 2012. Go look it up.
Pause. You've been voted out by the
Owned.
majority. Please return to your seat.
Jaywalking versus J6ing.
Hey, how's it going?
How are you, sir?
Nice to meet you, Mehdi.
Bro, I don't want to see another Hispanic Nazi, bro. Give me the fucking magician. I want to see what the magician has to say. What is he going to pull out of that hat?
To meet you. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you. I really just more want to get an understanding. When you say pro-criminal, what do you mean?
I mean that when confronted with people who've committed criminal acts, Donald Trump has been either soft on them, friendly with them, pardon them, and of course, let's not forget, I mean, we've got 5 minutes left, I'm surprised it hasn't come up earlier, he's a convicted criminal himself sitting in the White House.
Okay, I want to make sure I
34
understand you correctly, because
Yes.
I don't want to straw man you.
No,
You're saying
I appreciate that.
every time
Oh God, every single one of these I guess Jubilee is self-selecting with like debate purgatory, but this level of debate purgatory is so gross. Or it's like, I don't want to straw man you, but can you define your premises, please? It's like, just fucking be normal, dude. What is this like incredibly soy? There is nothing more soy than being a Reddit debate guy, okay? And every single one of these guys has that exact same tendency. Much to consider for all the liberals, okay, in the chat who also behave in this exact same way.
that he's been confronted,
Not every time. I didn't
most
say the
times,
words every time.
most times,
A lot of the time.
a lot of the times,
Yes.
he's leaned towards criminal activity.
I didn't say criminal activity. He has committed
Endorsed
crimes.
criminal.
He's been indicted for
Correct.
88 different criminal offenses in 4 different jurisdictions by 5 different grand juries. He was convicted himself on 30.
I don't care about this.
On Epstein.
He knows more information
All right,
than I do.
Pause. That's time. Please return to your seat.
Good to meet you.
Yeah, take care.
You're just complaining because you've never grounded your moral axioms. Yeah, exactly. I just happen to be morally lucky and consistently find myself on the right side of history and morality. If only I had grounded my moral axioms so I could fucking defend Israel's genocide.
Surrounded is now a podcast, available wherever you listen. Search.
Oh my God. Can't wait to listen to this in podcast form. Oh, this guy looks gross. I can't wait.
Nice to meet
pleasure
you.
to meet you, sir.
Mehdi, lovely to meet you.
Okay, I just want to say, I have no idea what the fuck's about to happen, but I will say this. Why do they have this kind of energy? This is white Drew Pavlov, by the way. He also kind of looks like Randy Fine in his youth. Like he's got the Randy Fine body before he really let himself go. You know what I mean? A perfect hog, perfectly rotund. Can someone tell me why they have this like weird energy where it's like, buckle up, buckaroo. It's time for you to get a lesson in epic meltdown. It's like, why? Why are they like this? Why are they all like this? What happened? Why? Why are they so corny? They must have spent too much time on the computer, I assume, right? Like look at this. Look at his fucking facial. Look at his attitude. Like, pleasure to meet you, my good sir. Time for an epic ownage.
So I would say that with Trump being anti-constitution, I don't really care, to be quite frankly.
Okay.
Because in regards...
Yeah! Oh, everybody likes me.
In regards to the Constitution is a document that should seek to serve us.
Yes.
And when it fails to seek to serve us, that can be amended. Laws can be changed. And quite frankly, the fact is, we're defending things in this country that shouldn't be defended. The First Amendment should not defend pornography and making children and women be victimized, making women...
What? That's your number one gripe, bro? Jesus, that's weird. I feel like, I'm sorry, that's a real weird way to enter the conversation. Man, Zoomers are unsalvageable. They're so cooked. Listen. If someone comes into the conversation and is like, guess what? The First Amendment should not defend pornography. I'm like, why are you this invested? Very strange thing to make your like primary cause. Like, hello, nice to meet you. I'm the anti-pornography guy. It's like, why is this in your mind so much?
Children be victimized as a result of that. I think things like blasphemy shouldn't be allowed per the First Amendment.
What?
I think that quite frankly, there are
Things like blasphemy shouldn't be wait, what?
a lot of legal processes that are enabling criminals and bad people to fully enact their will in this country in the name of the Constitution or following the Constitution. So, quite frankly, if Trump is anti-Constitution, good, and I think he should go further.
So
Yeah.
this is wonderful.
Wait, I'm watching Peak Brain Rot right now, dude. I'm sorry, I'm locked in.
Revealing of the modern conservative mindset. So I appreciate you spelling it out. So
quite in this country, processes that are enabling criminals and bad people to fully enact their will in this country in the name of the Constitution or following the Constitution. So, quite frankly, if Trump is anti-Constitution, good, and I think he should go further.
So
I'm sorry, but isn't this just like what people thought Sharia law is? Like being anti-blasphemy? What are you, a fucking medieval peasant? Like, what are you saying? Like, isn't this literally what they think is happening in like Muslim countries, but they just like want to do it Christian style? And in more often than not, in more cases than not, like it's not even happening in said Muslim countries.
This is wonderfully revealing of the modern conservative mindset. So I appreciate you spelling it out so openly. Just checking, do you support the Second Amendment?
I do.
Okay, surprise, I was shocked to hear that. I'm saying that Donald Trump is defying the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the 14th Amendment. He's thinking of defying the 12th and 22nd Amendments. You're saying you don't care about the Constitution, but actually you do because you quite like the Second Amendment. You just don't like the bits that you disagree with. Can I just be clear on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm more than willing to amend it and include
whenever
the
it's in your
Second Amendment.
favor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So can Democrats do the same when they're in office?
No, absolutely not. Because
so you don't
it's the
believe in
friend enemy.
democracy?
No, I don't. Absolutely not.
What do you believe in?
Autocracy.
By who?
Honestly, quite frankly, anyone who is in line with Catholic teaching.
Donald Trump is not.
What? There's no way. What? Wait, so he would be on board with like the woke Pope? Like, isn't the current Pope woke as well, as opposed to, I mean, the previous Pope was even woker than the current one, but like, they're pretty fucking pro-immigrant around those parts. So I don't really understand. I don't think that these guys want Catholic teaching at all. I think he just, I don't think he wants like whatever the Pope is saying currently.
Catholic.
Of course, he's not. I completely agree, and that's part of the problem.
You don't support Trump?
No, I don't. I didn't even vote for him. I wrote in like John Pork or someone. I can't even remember.
Why did you vote if you don't believe in democracy and you want autocracy?
Well, because quite frankly, I voted. I kind of voted just to.
I came with this argument, but I'm bored of my own argument. I'm much more interested in this. So
yeah, absolutely.
How do we get to an autocracy?
I think, quite frankly, that if we are able to enact local leaders.
Who is the we, by the way?
I think, quite frankly, these far right conservatives sitting right around
white
me.
people.
Yeah,
No
absolutely.
Brown people. So,
well,
some
actually,
of you guys,
I have quite.
Some of the people in this room don't make the cut from what I can see visually.
Actually, hold on for a moment. I do think that there are people who happen to not be white who do actually have history in this country and have roots in this country. For instance, from the Mexican-American War, we subsumed a lot of territory of people who have far stakes in this country who happen to be Hispanic or what have you. I'm for defending the traditional demographics of this country, which is majority white, and should stay that way.
How does the United States...
I don't understand. How can you be like... How can you call yourself pro-America and be Catholic? Like, this is the fucking WASP nationalist country. Like, we were ruthless to the Catholics for a while. Like, it's just... Like, what... Bro is on some team, and I don't know what team it is. Because, like, when fucking JFK became president, it was a big deal, okay? Also, by his own estimation, Biden is the best possible president because he was Catholic. Like, what kind of... I don't know what he's talking about. What the fuck? I guess, like, for him, this fantastical Catholic movement is going to be, like, the best possible way to bring about fascism.
I mean, we've gone so off topic, but how does the United States look like under you? Sorry, what's your name?
My name is, my name's Connor. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Took a little bit of a doubt there.
Oh, well, I use a pseudonym online.
Fair enough.
But fair enough.
How would Connor's America look? What would it look like?
Well,
This guy's name is Pine Sap. He's one of the groypers that got to hang out with Mr. Fuentes. Ugh. He's just a groyper. The self-identified fascist making the rounds in today's viral Mehdi Hasan videos and online personality, Nick Fuentes' groyper movement known as Pine Sap. Here he is speaking at a Fuentes rally in June 2024 and pictured with other figures in the movement. What the fuck? They're such fucking... Ew. Mehdi also interviewed another groyper, Kai Schwemmer. He was one of Nick's leading fanboys in 2021. Gross. What?
Frankly, I think we would deport people who shouldn't be here.
No, I didn't ask about deporting. What does the government look like?
What does the government look like?
Yeah.
I would say, quite frankly, it's under a...
God, he just keeps saying quite frankly. It's like... Evet. Nalden. Oh.
A sort of benevolent leader, such as
Where does he
Franco.
come from?
It could be a kind of aristocratic class. Could be someone
who picks the autocrat?
Frankly, the people. I mean, we could hold a vote.
Quite frankly, the people.
Vote on it. Kings
So
were
isn't that democracy?
Well, sure. You can have a vote to get to that stage.
And then no more votes afterwards?
Absolutely.
Wow.
100%.
Wow. And if that autocrat kills you and your family, you're fine with that?
Well, I'm not going to be a part of the group that he kills, because that's the whole thing.
How do you know?
Carl Schmitt
Autocrats tend to kill everyone,
Carl
even their own
Schmitt makes
supporters.
this point very well in his work. It's the friend-enemy distinction, right?
Carl
liberals,
Schmitt, the Nazi theoretician.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't care.
Are you a fan of the Nazis?
I frankly don't care being called a Nazi at all.
I didn't say that. I didn't actually say that. I said, are you a fan of the Nazis?
Well, they persecuted the church a little bit. I'm not a fan of that. But
what about the persecution of the Jews?
Wow, that was the one L for the Nazis. That they persecuted the church a little bit.
Well, I mean, I certainly don't support anyone's human dignity being assaulted. I'm a Catholic.
But you don't condemn Nazi persecution of the Jews?
I think that there was a little bit of persecution and stuff like that, which is bad.
We may have to rename this show because you're a little bit more than a far-right Republican.
No, this is a Republican. This is the Young Republican. This is the Young Republican movement. He said a little bit. Oh, you said 6 million equals a little? Dog, this motherfucker is not. He is not. He is trying to not so subtly imply that it wasn't 6 million. That's what he's trying to say.
Hey, What can I say?
If Mehdi didn't say anything, he would have slapped it too.
Hey, what can I say?
I think you can say, I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am.
Look how happy he is to be like, I'm a fascist. I'm a fascist. What are you going to do about it? It's like, dude, I'm telling you, these people, when they're not in these limited environments, if they were to talk like this in like a random dive bar in the most right-wing town in the United States of America, they would get their fucking ass beat, okay? Like they would, even in a Nazi bar, they probably beat the fuck out of this guy for being too much of a nerd, okay? But like in any other bar where they're like watching Fox News, average conservative, super fucking right-wing, very racist, they would beat the fucking doors off of this dude. 100%. Straight up, dude. I'm a fascist. Like, no shot. How do you reconcile that with saying this is the average young Republican? I mean, I'm exaggerating when I say this is the average young Republican, but there are a lot of fucking prominent, like, people who self-identify as like young Republicans in the young conservative movement do operate like this for sure. But they're not the most, like, they're not the average. They're not even close to being like normal Republicans in general. This is just the online face, unfortunately, of this movement.
Absolutely.
I'm just checking who's clapping just to get my set of where everyone is on this. Because you know that millions of people are going to be watching you on YouTube and checking out who the fascists and the Nazis are.
I'm not ashamed of that whatsoever.
No, clearly you're not.
During the pre-war period, prior to World War II, it was only those parties that properly enacted the people's will. That's why they won. The conservatives were fat cats. They were aristocrats.
Are you in favor of killing people who aren't like you?
Quite frankly, I'm not.
You mentioned Franco earlier. Franco killed a lot of innocent people.
Oh, well, he killed communists. He killed people who raped nuns and killed priests.
What about children who he killed and women who he killed?
What are you talking about? He never killed any women or children. He was Catholic,
He only killed combatants. Is that what you're claiming?
Yeah. Fact check by San. Franco and his forces killed or executed 150,000 people. That includes members of the Catholic clergy who were deemed either liberal or loyal to the Spanish Republic. He never killed any. He didn't kill people. He killed communists. Like, that shit goes hard in, you know, whatever fucking Discord server you are in. But like in the real world, when you say stuff like that, people are like, that's weird.
He only killed combatants.
Never killed any innocent people.
The White Terror was only punishing those people who did acts of terrorism. And again, are you supporting like raping innocent women? Nuns, dude. Killing priests? I mean, priests don't brandish guns and kill people.
You just refuse to condemn the Nazi Holocaust, my friend. I don't think you're in a position to ask anyone any questions.
I quite frankly don't care what you think about me. If I'm a Nazi and being a Nazi,
is mutual,
and being a Nazi means upholding human dignity, because I even believe in your dignity. I don't. In a state that I was running, I wouldn't want to hurt you or anything like that. But quite frankly,
I don't debate fascists.
Okay. So do you concede then? I mean, why?
Do I concede you're a fascist who won't condemn the Nazis?
Yeah.
Yes, I concede that.
Okay, great. So I mean, what are we doing here? Because I mean, you just seem
offended. What you're doing here,
you just seem offended to be.
You just seem offended. Did I offend you? Did I offend you by saying I'm a fascist? It's like, dude, oh my god. Like, what are you supposed to have a conversation with this guy on? Like, I mean, seriously, what are we supposed to do here? What a fucking insane person. I'm sorry. It's going to sound a little ableist what I'm about to say, but this is no different than like talking to the mentally ill person at the fucking bus stop, okay? And trying to have a reasonable back and forth about like what kind of constitutional law theories is the Trump administration adopting? Like, what is this? What the fuck? What do you mean? This guy is just a fucking mentally ill charlatan. This is a motherfucker who is a COVID baby, okay? Some of his most formative years, he did not have any sort of social interaction, which would have probably softened some of these edges. And he spent all of that literally in fucking Nick Fuentes' Discord group. And this is the outcome. Now you released him into the wild. And he's like, yeah, I'm a fascist. Did I own you? Ah! Did I? Did I destroy you? Why are you so triggered? I'm a fascist. It's like, nah, man, you're fat. That's what you are. First and foremost, sorry. I'm fat shaming. I apologize. Like, you look like a baby, like an overgrown baby, LARPing as a fucking loser.
Quite frankly, like,
I'm offended by people who can't condemn the Nazis. Yes, I am.
okay. Well, I condemn the evils that they did, but I don't really
Against
care
the
about
Jews?
being. Yeah, sure. I don't care about being called a Nazi.
Sure.
Is the whole thing.
I never called you a Nazi.
I care
You
about
called
doing
yourself
the right
a Nazi,
thing.
a fascist, and a General Franco
Well,
supporter.
yeah, I am a General Franco supporter. He was awesome. He was so super cool, quite frankly. Because the whole
And
thing.
you don't believe in democracy.
I don't believe in
What
democracy.
are you doing here at a televised debate? This is democracy. Not what a debate and disagreement.
Because it is the means to support an end. The reason we have free speech now is because we want to be.
Jubilee is normalizing fascism and you're signal boosting it, though. Dr. Felipe, for the longest time, I have not fucking watched any Jubilee videos. Do you think the cat's out of the bag with this one, considering that it came out yesterday and it already has 3.2 million views? Like, honestly, I understand where you're coming from. But do you feel like maybe if a video reaches fucking 3.2 million views over the course of not even 24 hours, perhaps there is a reason for why it's reached that level? So now it's like, unfortunately, a part of the political discourse. You and every other political streamer should boycott it from a moral perspective. You're right. We should just close our eyes to this thing that is moving and shaking discourse online. It's not a platform video. If YouTube allowed gore and a video hit 2 million views, would you watch it? If a video in and of itself was driving political discourse and it had gore in it, yes, I would at least talk about it. I wouldn't be able to show it within the terms of service, but yeah, of course I would talk about it. What kind of fucking idiotic argument is this? Why are you trying to debate lord me? Obviously, the reason why I have the no longer abiding by the long don't hurt me, I like you. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm just saying you're being fucking stupid. There's a fuck ton of gore footage that I have to scan through and don't actually play to fruition, considering that I can't because of the terms of service violations that it has on this platform. But, you know, I've been covering the genocide every single fucking day. What do you think is the footage surrounding this genocide? There's a reason why I'm covering this, because whether we like it or not, these guys are getting a lot of fucking motion. Unfortunately, you're right. Jubilee shouldn't be platforming fucking psychopathic fascists. You're not wrong about that. I agree. But cat's out of the bag on this one. You know, maybe you should take it up with Jubilee. Jubilee and Nelk doing the same shit. Nihilistic content farming of both sides for clout. Social media was a mistake. I am shamelessly going into the chat of streamers I know to ask for a raise when they're done. I'm going to do my third stream at Donkey Kong Bonanza. Not listening since I'm streaming. I'm going for another couple hours or so. I'm going to literally block. I'm going to ban you. No, I'm kidding.
Be openly talking about our opinions so we can get the state that we want. But it doesn't mean upholding free speech.
I like that it's like you can see why the Department of Education was the first target. It's never been easier to understand the rise of Nazism in 1930s Germany. I'm a fascist. Conservatives start clapping. I watched the video and I feel two things. Feel much better about myself and my intelligence. Terrified for the future of this country. They're not even here to argue a point. They're just excited to finally have an opportunity to verbally spew hate at a brown guy without repercussion. This episode feels like the beginning of something really bad. 5 years ago, these people wouldn't admit that they were bigoted. Now they own it. At least the YouTube comments are fucking shocked.
After we win. I mentioned
the only good thing about this fascist moment we're in is that you guys are so open about it.
The whole reason I mentioned
the quiet part loud.
The whole reason I mentioned Carl Schmitt earlier, and you kind of blew past him, is the friend-enemy distinction.
Past him because of the Nazi
even liberals, when they take power, they want to enact policies and they want to act.
The biggest problem with this debate in particular is that this is not a debate at all. Fascists don't debate. They use debate to launder their views so they can gain legitimacy. But when it comes down to it, they simply want to kill people who aren't them. I mean, it's true. It's actually a perfect point. You just described the left. Leftists do not believe in racial purity. fuck fascism, but ironically, you wanting to silence those you disagree with makes you just like them. Evil. Fuck fascism, but also what we must do is platform fascists and not push back against fascists and basically become fascists. And then if you fucking say that this person is a fascist and fascism is wrong, then you're just a fascist. But actually, the only kind of fascist that I suspiciously want to, offer criminal repercussions to. I don't know, man. There's a lot of crazy people out there, you know? You don't have to listen to every single person. Am I crazy? Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like a guy who's like, I'm a fascist, I love Franco, is like, okay, well, what kind of conversation can we have with you? What kind of conversation is there to be had here? If it isn't our favorite domestic terrorist, HasanAbi Piker, I'm like the least successful domestic terrorist of all time. I guess the only thing I've done is terrorize your fucking mind by existing. Don't ban this guy. I want to hear what other kind of incredible takes he has to have. He's got to have much more in there. I wonder how many of my haters killed themselves because I wasn't live streaming for 3 days. There's got to be at least a couple where they were like, oh, I can't shit on him. I can't call him a terrorist. It's over. There's nothing left to live for. Like, it's definitely more than zero.
Enact protections for their people and their ideas, and they're willing to punish their enemy. And so I'm the same way. I'm like, hey, if you're going to punish me, I'm going to get in power, and I'm going to frankly punish you when you try to leverage power against me. Just that simple.
It happened on your break, but did you see the Twitter of the guy whose friend killed himself because of BBC? I did. That's why I deleted Twitter from my phone. I saw that and I was like, I don't think this is productive. Yeah, I did see that guy who was like, you guys are joking about Great Replacement, but my best friend killed himself because of BBC. And he wasn't talking about the British broadcasting. He was talking about Big Black Cock. No, he wasn't talking about British Broadcasting Channel. He was talking about BBC, like penis, the penis of a black person. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, that's it. That's it for me. I think, like, I literally, I was shitting and I turned on, I pulled out Twitter on my phone while I was shitting just to see what was going on in the realm of discourse. And I saw that and I deleted Twitter from my phone. Yeah. Just ruined my shit. Immediately went to TikTok. Yeah. I did not want to know that, bro. Lol. I mean, it's just a part of the world, you know? It's just something that happened, I guess. Oh, well.
I'm not sure what you want to say.
Hey, it is what it is.
All right. Pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
It's a pleasure to meet you, sir. I can't say the same, but thank you. Good to meet you, Mehdi.
Good to meet you, sir. All right. So I kind of want to start at the basics or the foundation. I want to see.
Can I just check?
Yes.
Are you a fascist?
No.
Okay.
I don't. I describe myself as, I think, just a Christian.
Fair enough.
I'm a devout Christian.
Good to hear.
So, I want to start, like, what is your connection?
It's funny because like people are not, especially this generation, they're not more religious. I think the reason why they're claiming I think that the reason why they say they're like Christian is because it's like, I guess they've figured out like a more appropriate substitute for saying that they're like a repulsive little freak racist.
connection to the Constitution, and why do you love it so much? Like, what makes it so important that Trump would defy something like the Constitution to you personally?
Great questions. My first connection is I'm an American citizen. I naturalized American citizen, took a pledge to this country, to the Constitution. As a previous speaker has said, Constitution's not perfect. A lot of things I don't like about it. I don't like the Second Amendment. There's various amendments. I don't like the way the Senate is set up. I'm sure there's things you don't like about the Constitution. The difference is, I don't think you can just illegally defy the Constitution. I don't think each and every one of us can just make up whatever we want. Certainly presidents who are elected with an oath, right? Donald Trump took an oath to preserve, protect, defend the Constitution. And now when he's asked on television, isn't it your job to uphold the Constitution? He said on NBC, I don't know, which goes against his oath. And I'm identifying specific amendments where he is violating. He's only 6 months into his presidency, defying the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the 14th Amendment. He wants to defy the 22nd Amendment and be president for a third term. This is the problem we have right now. Free speech is under assault. The free press is under assault. Due process is under assault. The right to be in your home and not be invaded by federal agents, the Fourth Amendment, is under assault. So that, for me, is a problem.
Okay. Well, I'd like to start to say I really don't find the Constitution that important. I find it to be like a 300-year-old document. And it was created to defy the country that subjugated your ancestors in India. And then your parents probably moved from India to Britain. And then you move here to tell us that we should listen to a piece of paper that you were never even connected to begin with.
What is your connection to the piece of paper? That your drunk rapist grandparents came here? Like what? At some point? I don't get it.
So I want to say, like, if I don't care about it, why do you care about it so much?
Also, you said you're a Christian. What kind of connection do you have to a piece of parchment before paper even fucking existed? You know what I mean? What was it? Papyrus? Like, what are you... You just said you're a Christian. What? How is any of this like a appropriate argument? He's like, you care about a piece of paper that's 250 years old. Well, I care about a piece of paper that's thousands of years old. Cool. Oh, fun fact, linen. Okay. The Constitution is written on animal skin. Not a fascist, but doesn't care about the Constitution. I mean, I don't really give a fuck about the Constitution either, if we're being real. I mean, it's supposed to be amended, and there's definitely some tweaks that you need to make, okay? But I think the reason why he doesn't care about it and I don't care about it are entirely separate, where I want to make people's lives better. These guys seemingly, what, your new pet? I've got a great take for you. How does it feel knowing that the Department of Justice classified you as a terrorist, domestic terrorist, on live television in conference with the president on June 7th across all media platforms? You were on CNN and Fox News. How is that not your entire personality right now? Piker, 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 read the message, Piker, read the messages, Piker, read the like, this is the type of guy who luckily did not kill himself while I was gone for 3 days. But this is exactly who I'm talking about when I say like some of these dudes will literally die if they weren't able to do this, you know? Damn, bro. Are you okay? Yeah. Isn't this most likely a little kid? Yeah. And their parents probably lost Medicaid and SNAP benefits in the next 2 years. And that kind of financial hardship is most likely going to destroy the already shitty relationship that they have because they produced a crack baby. And then they're never going to tell him that this is the reason, but a big part of the reason why they will divorce inevitably, if they haven't already done so, is because of the crack child that they put on this planet. Yeah, they won't tell you, chatter, but you'll know.
How do you run a country without any kind of laws or due process? And by the way, you do care about it, because without the First Amendment, you wouldn't be sitting here.
Well, I agree with the First Amendment, and I think.
So do you agree with Donald Trump's crackdown on the First Amendment? He's imprisoning people for their speech. He's threatening free speech media organizations. He's threatening peaceable assembly. These are all rights under the First Amendment. Why aren't you bothered by that as a conservative who claims to love the First Amendment?
So I don't like the First Amendment. I like free speech.
Okay,
so
the First Amendment is what guarantees free speech. I'm from the UK, by the way.
Speech.
I'm from the UK,
and you guys
which is a
don't have
democracy.
that.
We don't have the First Amendment.
Yeah.
No, that's one of the things I do like about the Constitution. I wish the UK did have a First Amendment.
So people
I'm a
that get
journalist.
arrested for praying outside abortion clinics and stuff like that, right?
So you're opposed to people being arrested for speech crimes, I assume.
Well, it depends what it is. If it's like the
Oh,
people.
so you're like one of the previous speakers. You don't.
No.
As long as it's someone who agrees with you, you don't mind the crackdown.
No. I support.
Either we consistently support
I
principles
support
or we
free
don't.
speech 100%.
Okay.
I don't think anyone.
So do you think Donald Trump is defying the Constitution by cracking down on the First Amendment?
So I think he's cracking down on free speech, like the deportation of Mahmoud Khalil, who was just
released from prison by a judge, saying his First Amendment rights were violated.
And I agree with the judge, and I disagree with Trump deporting them. But I think that's more a matter.
Oh my God, having the guys was like, nah, he needs to be deported. Wow, there's some infighting in the conservative movement.
Free speech and not the Constitution.
I think that's pedantry at this moment. I think you've conceded that he is cracking down on free speech, which is the First Amendment. So he is defying the Constitution. So it's a pleasure to be in agreement with you, sir.
All right, pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
Thank you very much.
How do you audition for this episode? They literally were like, who can sig heil harder, I think. Like they were trying to get the best, the expert sig heilers for this one. Let the magician talk. I need to hear the magician. I need to hear what kind of crazy fucking takes he has. Because ain't no way a guy that looks like that has normal opinions, okay?
I'm Mehdi.
Mehdi, great to meet you. My name is Kai. Do you, Mehdi, believe that the Constitution is important and good?
Overall, yes.
Do you believe that that Constitution can be eroded through democratic processes?
What do you mean by erode?
The original intention of the Constitution being destroyed through a purely, democratic or legal process.
I'm not sure I agree with that.
Okay.
I think if you're democratically amending the Constitution per the rules of the Constitution, that's fine. If we could find a constitutional way to get rid of the Second Amendment, I'd be pro that.
So let's pose a hypothetical wherein the entire population of the United States has drastically changed.
Yes.
And the population now has completely different intentions about what to do with the country. Let's say it wants to give it all back to Mexico, dismantling the United States of America. If that's the case, then what's the use of the Constitution? It hasn't defended the country. In fact, it's allowed for its destruction.
I don't understand the premise. How did the whole country change?
Demographic replacement, mass migration. I mean, we're seeing a change in demographics.
Wait, what? He thinks that this is Kai clips from the Republican Hype House on TikTok circa 2020. I could have done better without that information. I don't need to know things that much. There are things that I don't need. There's a Republican Hype House and he was a part of it. Okay. Dude, that's awesome. What if, I know this kid from then. Yeah, what if the Constitution was eroded democratically because people got together and voted to erode the Constitution to disband the government? How do they do that? By Mexicans coming into the United States of America. Okay. Why the fuck are they escaping Mexico if they want to turn America into Mexico? Like, they came to America for better financial opportunities, but actually secretly the real goal overall always was to inevitably secede the nation into Mexico? Why are so many of these guys voting for Trump then? How did that happen? The cabal is sending them.
And
also, I wish we would secede into Mexico. I mean, think about it, dude. Claudia Sheinbaum, that's my president right there, straight up.
What is the I do want to talk about immigration today.
I hope we talk about it.
Everyone's itching in this group to get to immigration.
Yes, sir.
I've saved it. I've saved it for you all. But given we're on the sense of the Constitution, and you asked the question, what is the proportion of immigrants in this country? What proportion of the population is foreign-born?
It's very difficult to measure because the actual projections of the number have been changing more rapidly.
But what is currently? The best estimate of official estimate.
I think it was about 15%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just under 15%.
Which is, by the way, more actually than the original estimate was. So
but 15% of the people are going to change the country, change the Constitution. How's that going to work? It's actually a nightmare. As someone who wants to amend the Constitution and get rid of things like the ridiculous way the Senate is set up, or the Second Amendment on guns, or various other things, it's really hard to change the Constitution. They made it almost impossible. You know, last time we had a constitutional amendment?
You know
like
what?
20, 30 years ago.
I understand, which
and
is
it was
why
all, I think members of Congress pay.
Which is why
it's impossible.
I get it.
So where are you getting this scenario where 350 odd million people all become foreign-born migrants or the children of migrants, immediate migrants, even though America is a nation of migrants? Yeah. And then abandons the Constitution and gives the country back to Mexico. Outside of your imagination, where is that happening?
Let's bring it back to the actual discussion. What you did is you entertained my hypothetical, but then instead of sticking to the point of the Constitution, you said, well, how would you bring about your hypothetical? And then when
because you missed out the part where the Constitution is quite hard to change.
Okay, there's a difference between hypotheticals and just like making up an insane story, like making up an insane hypothetical, because an analogy has to have some semblance, like there's some closeness to the truth or some likelihood. Okay, it's like saying, okay, what if we democratically voted to just fucking nuke ourselves? Huh, what do you think about democracy then, stupid? It's like, I don't think people would do that. Like, that doesn't make any sense. What do you mean? Notice how I did an analogy there, and I used how fucking insane your argument was to show you by using an example, like a comparable example. That's precisely the reason why, you know, you have to make sure that the hypothetical that you're using is within the confines of permissibility. I'm just saying, it's so stupid. It's like, oh, you like democracy? What if we democratically voted to fucking nuke ourselves? Okay, well, yeah, I guess then democracy is bad in that incredibly, incredibly unlikely, impossible to happen scenario.
Hold on. I understand that. I gave you.
I also wanted to get a sense of where you are, and you're a great replacement guy. So that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, and you're a real good journalist because you don't talk to people who identify as like a political ideology. I mean, that's a very liberal idea.
I don't debate fascists. I'll talk to them, but I wouldn't debate them.
Frankly, that's upsetting. I think there's a big problem when, you know, we value freedom of speech so much, but any, you know, real journalist is not going to talk to somebody because they identify with the politically incorrect ideology.
Just talk to politically incorrect ideology. No, man, it's just a death cult, and it's patently. Is patently a waste of time. Why do these guys sound like this? They all sound the same. They're like, they have Reddit speech. Is this TikTok speech patterns? Is that what it is? Maybe I'm just like lost in the sauce, but they all, quite frankly, you don't want freedom of speech, it seems. It's a waste of time, and I'll explain why. Look at Israel, okay? That's what happens when you accelerate in a fascist state. When you get to a fucking fascist nation state, you turn into Israel. Do you want America to turn into Israel? Because we're fucking getting close. Some of these guys will say yes. And then at which point it's like, it's self-defeating. It has been defeated over and over again. Historically, it's a suicidal ideology because the values that you hail as like ultimate are ridiculous. They're silly. They're made up. You've just made it up in your mind where you're like, I'm daddy's special boy and I must be preserved and protected and all of my enemies must be killed. That's not like a functioning political movement. It's just, you're just basically setting the clock back a little bit. That's all you're doing. If that's your final goal, then this is an unsustainable worldview. Why are you anti-war? You know these guys are the ones they send? That's not true. No, these guys will not go to war. What are you, crazy? They're going to do propaganda.
to the guy in front of you. What are you talking about?
You literally stopped talking to him, and then everybody had to vote him
Debating
out.
versus talking is very different.
Okay.
It's pointless, right?
Okay, yeah,
he doesn't
yeah.
believe.
So
He doesn't
you're
believe
sitting
in free speech.
Okay.
He doesn't believe in
He was
democracy.
freely speaking with you. You're the one
No,
who
he
shut
doesn't.
up.
No, he said very clearly.
Okay,
He said,
okay.
I support
We'll
free
tone it down.
speech
We'll tone it
so
down.
that I
We'll
can
tone
get
it
one election.
Yeah, this is not even like, this is not even a debate. There's no back and forth here. It's just so utterly unproductive because they're not there to like actually have a conversation. Like they're not even defining why they think this is a permissible society or this will yield good results or whatever kind of like future society that they want to envision, that they want to defend. They're just literally rage baiting over and over again to be like, I said I'm a fascist. Like they think it's a gotcha to just say. It's basically the debate equivalent of going up on stage and shitting yourself, okay, in a crowded room and then being like, ha, I've destroyed you. You all smelled the shit in my pants. No, you didn't do anything. Like this was not even remotely productive. As a matter of fact, if people on the left did the exact same thing that these guys were doing and just basically said, no, it's because I'm a Maoist, and then that's it, like they just left it at that, every one of these fucking losers would be clowning on them and being like, look at this fucking idiot. They thought that they made a good point. You know? You have to at least like defend the principles of this ideology you're supposedly espousing and advocating for. The only thing they're doing is stopping the magician's right to speak. I know. I need the magician to speak. And I suspect I'm going to eat those words soon when he does end up speaking.
After one election, my guy comes in, and after my guy comes in, nobody gets to speak or vote again.
We all listen to your
Why would I
conversation.
debate that?
We listen to your conversation. Let's
Well,
bring,
I'm
let's bring
reminding
it
you
back
what
to
it was
this
said
topic.
because you just
Let's bring it back to the
misrepresented it.
Constitution.
Please do. First, Fourth, Fifth, 14th Amendments. Those are the
Sounds
ones
good.
I'm saying Trump is defying. Do you
Sounds
support that or do you deny them?
I believe that the Constitution is valuable because it represents particular interests of the founding stock of Americans who made this country great.
Do you think due process is important? Some would say that's at the very core of American Constitution.
And what
Fifth Amendment.
And what I think makes the Constitution function, what allows it to save this country and to actually make it work, are the people who are...
I'm not sure where you're going with this argument.
Hold on. I'll show you.
Is Trump defying the Constitution? That's my claim. You can have these weird hypotheticals
We're taking it into a different meta, which is, what's the function of the Constitution?
I'd rather not have your...
You already did.
Yeah, but
literally
now I
just
don't
5
want
minutes
to.
ago when you took it to immigration.
Now I don't
pal.
want to.
Okay, let's bring it back.
I want to bring it back to the First, the Fourth,
Awesome.
the Fifth, and the 14th Amendments, and the 22nd Amendments.
Look, then let me throw it to your question.
Hold on, you got two very good positions here. One is to say, I don't think he's defying them, and I'll say why you're wrong. Or you say, I don't care that he's defying them, as one of your colleagues said, in which case, I don't know where this conversation goes because you don't believe in democracy.
That's fair. Do you think it's wrong to dismantle the Constitution?
So there's two options ahead of you.
No,
Do you
hold on.
agree?
This is important.
Do you
What
agree?
I'm doing
so
is
is
I'm
Donald Trump... Okay, let me ask a question back since you're asking me questions. You're not answering the basic point.
This is why you can't debate the far right on these topics. They aren't even trying to be on topic. I know. Like they're not even staying on the subject matter because they don't give a shit. And especially if you're a liberal, this is the limits. That's the problem with Mehdi's worldview in general, is that like it still exists within this naive framework almost where like because he's so preconditioned into like defending institutions and like liberalism and these like foundational values that he thinks that the other person sitting across from him is also going to abide by said standards and maybe even feel shy about like revealing their position. But it's clear that these guys are not shy about revealing their positions. So all this ends up turning into is just them constantly going, are you triggered because I'm a fascist? Are you triggered? And yeah, the secondary market consumption for this video is just shock and horror and people going, oh my God, these guys are fucking insane. Is this what the modern conservative movement looks like? But every single time these guys are rage baiting, there's also a group of people that feel emboldened and galvanized by it, and their group and their message spreads, unfortunately. That's it. Apparently they misled him and said he would be debating normal MAGA people. Yeah, I think this is definitely a step beyond normal MAGA people. Like, I have yet to hear from a normal MAGA person. I will say this is the normal MAGA person online. This would be like Mehdi Hasan debates 20 of his Twitter reply guys, right? But this certainly is not normal MAGA people. MAGA influencers, sure.
Do you think Donald Trump is dismantling the Constitution? Can we agree that Donald Trump is dismantling? Because I'll agree with you on that. I think he is dismantling the Constitution.
I think he's
illegally, unconstitutionally.
I think he's interpreting it in ways that are more.
Which judges do not agree with him on.
Okay,
which the Supreme Court has not agreed with him on.
And the judges don't agree with the people who wrote the Constitution.
How do you know that?
Okay, let's take your example of the Second Amendment. Let's say that a bunch of judges...
I didn't give the Second Amendment.
No,
I said
hold on.
Fourth. You don't want to talk about the ones I've given.
You're interrupting me. You're interrupting me.
Because you're ignoring me. First, Fourth, Fifth, 14th, 22nd Amendments. Those are my amendments that I came with today. If you don't want to debate them, just say so.
I'm trying to understand your ideology.
Say so.
You believe that dismantling the Constitution is okay when it's about parts of the Constitution that you disagree with.
Amendments.
You would be fine getting rid of the Second Amendment, even though that would be a dismantling of the Constitution.
No, because it would be done via constitutional means. I'm not the one sitting here like your pal.
Okay, you have agreed. You have agreed the Constitution.
I'm not the one saying you just get rid of them willy-nilly. I don't agree.
We're ramping up.
I don't agree that Joe Biden should come in and say by executive order, if Joe Biden put out executive order saying Second Amendment no longer applies. I can round up everyone's guns. I don't agree with that.
Your result is exactly the same.
I don't agree with them. No, but I don't agree with the method.
No, amending the Constitution through the normal process is entirely different than just doing something unconstitutional. You are supposed to be able to amend it. It's a living, breathing document, right? I mean, this is just like, I don't know. It feels like there's a fundamental disagreement here where this guy is just like, no, you don't understand. Changing it at all is actually technically dismantling it. They're all Rumble YouTube fascists. One works with Elijah Schaffer on LFA. Jubilee set him up with channeled influencers.
Of doing it, it's unconstitutional.
That's fine.
He would have been defying the Constitution, and I would have said so, but you can't bring yourself to say so. We've been sitting here for several minutes. All of your friends have seen me ask you several times, do you agree that Donald Trump is defying the First, Fourth, Fifth, 14th, and possibly 22nd Amendments? Your colleague at least admitted that he's defying the First Amendment.
I understand that you came in here. What you are attempting to do is simply frame this conversation like you did with the first claim about Donald Trump. But then when anybody asks you any kind of question that presses you to the least degree
I answered. I said I would dismantle the Constitution, but I would do it constitutionally, not by executive order.
So what I'm trying to get to is to prove to everybody who's watching that what you care about is not the Constitution in what it represents or creates. You care about the Constitution only insofar as it allows you to achieve your political worldview. We agree on that.
No, I care about the Constitution
you agree with the
because I don't think presidents should be fascist dictators and violate the Constitution. That's what I'm saying.
You care.
And he is different. I don't think the president should have the power to lock you and me up if we write an op-ed that he doesn't like.
That's awesome.
I don't think the president should be able to crack down on us if you and I decide to go protest outside his parade.
I
don't think the president should be able to deprive you and I of due process or come into our homes without a warrant.
And I think,
well, let's end an agreement then.
All right, pause. You've been voted.
Okay, well then he walked him through literally the violations of the Trump administration. And he agreed with all of them. But unfortunately, everyone in that fucking audience is so stupid that they don't even understand that Mehdi Hasan literally pointed out the exact constitutional infringements by pointing out the amendments. He would not back down. He would not actually answer those questions. So he just personally described the violations piece by piece and got him to literally agree with every single point. Okay. So I guess there's no disagreement. Got it.
I'm glad
it's good to meet you.
It's good to meet you, Kai.
You don't agree with him because then you're saying everything antithetical to Mehdi.
So Trump is defying the First, Fourth,
Fifth, and 14th, and maybe the 22nd soon.
Okay. So I want to focus on the First and the Fifth.
Okay.
So you say that Trump is defying the First Amendment. Can you give me an example?
For example, he banned the Associated Press from attending White House events. A Trump-appointed judge said that was against the First Amendment. He's been cracking down on media organizations he doesn't like over their speech. If they say stuff he doesn't like, he, for example...
Okay, I'm bored of this.
I want to start by asking this. Do you care more about helping
Immigrants are overall good for America. Okay, let's see.
Americans or immigrants in this claim?
Immigrants are Americans. I'm an immigrant and an American.
Well, immigrants are not Americans. Americans are the people that were born here.
That's not true. Where'd you get, what's the basis of your claim for that?
Are you talking about people that get naturalized in the process of becoming American?
14th Amendment. Have you read it?
Okay, yes, I have.
Citizenship clause. It says any persons born or naturalized in the United States are citizens of the United States.
I'm aware of that.
There's about 40 to 50 million naturalized Americans in this country.
Yes, but
you didn't seem aware of it because you said Americans versus immigrants.
So, but are you understanding that the process of getting all these immigrants that come in here we've been also, the millions of immigrants, it's up to the millions, it's the last 20 years now, and it has dramatically affected Americans here in the country, which
positively, I would argue.
People like me and everyone around here, we cannot find homes or even get jobs within our own fields that we go to college for.
It's because of immigrants, dude. What do you mean? You think they're not building the homes fast enough? Is that the problem? Like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? This part is the dumbest part because it's like an immigrant is not the reason why the housing market is the way it is, you fucking moron. It's because of people using real estate as a speculative asset and refusing to build housing by need. Like, you think that if you were to deport 20 million immigrants, all of a sudden the landlords were going to be like, well, I guess we got to lower our prices. They would be like, oh, well, all the homes and all of my property value, all of a sudden, I guess I just got to lower it. I guess my little nest egg is no longer is no longer as important since we racistly wiped out 20 million people. Yeah, rents will never rise ever again. Yeah, you know what'll also make it easier, dude? If we just fucking wipe out like a chunk of the construction force as well, a chunk of the labor force that engages in construction, approximately 25%. That will certainly boost the building efforts and the building initiatives. 60+% of all agricultural output gone, wiped out overnight. No more poultry, no more meat, no more farming, no more construction, nothing. Your grandparents, sorry, no one to take care of them.
That we get into debt for. And because more blue-collar work, especially in construction, agriculture, and so forth, and the hospitality industry, we cannot get jobs in those fields, so it requires us...
Are you looking for a job in construction?
I am not, no. I went to college.
Okay.
Many people here are in college.
Oh, shit, my bad. No, she wasn't. She didn't. She doesn't want that. No, never mind. Never mind. She doesn't want to do that. That'll fuck her nails up. You know what I mean? But like, someone else got to do it. Not me, though. How about we give those guys the proper paperwork so they can get better wages? You know, since they're doing the same fucking job, if not more, than you are. How about that? I think that's the best possible way to go about it. I know. Revolutionary idea. It's called giving people the proper documentation and then helping them collectively bargain for better wages and better benefits and better healthcare overall. As a matter of fact, not even have to argue for better healthcare as a benefits package, because healthcare should be given by the government. You know, crazy idea after crazy idea.
Or went to college, but we can't even find jobs in our fields, also because of the H-1B visa program as well. But in regards to just your claim about immigrants specifically, we cannot even get jobs to pay for housing.
Unemployment is at a record low right now, even under Donald Trump. And I'm not a Donald Trump fan, but I would say unemployment under both Biden and Trump has been...
That's not a very good argument, I don't think. But anyway, let's just
record low levels.
Okay, is this in regards for American citizens?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
wait, what? What did she think that what? Nah, just unemployment for undocumented is at a fucking all-time low. That's what Mehdi Hasan was talking about. I was about to criticize Mehdi Hasan here for saying like, well, unemployment is at an all-time low. Well, it doesn't matter because these are not good-paying jobs. So most people are criminally underemployed. So there is that problem, but that's not something you can address regardless. without actually tackling the root cause, which would be capitalism. It seems like you aren't a fan of this, Hasan. No, I love Mehdi Hasan. It's just, this is, I don't know.
I'm unaware of that statistic, but from what I see, from what I
I'm an immigrant and an American, and I employ many American citizens, both naturalized and the ones born here. I employ Americans.
My parents came
Americans as defined by you.
My parents came as immigrants to become naturalized, so I'm not necessarily opposed to immigrants.
So you're the child of immigrants.
Correct. I'm a child of immigrants. I was born
But you don't
here.
accept that immigrants are Americans.
Not at this moment.
So your parents are not Americans.
Not at
Oh my, are you fucking kidding me? Bruh. She said, not at this moment. Too much. I'm good. Nobody else. That is crazy. That's fucking nuts.
this moment.
So hold
no,
on, your parents
they're
are Americans.
citizens. They became naturalized.
You just said you can't be citizens by being naturalized.
No, I was born here, and I'm not
Yeah,
opposed
you're born
to
here, right?
naturalization. I
But
never
are your
said that I'm
parents-
against naturalization.
Are you against naturalization?
No, I never said I was against
You did.
naturalization.
You began. Everyone was here. They can play it back on YouTube. You said Americans or immigrants. Are your parents Americans or immigrants?
No, my parents are United States citizens.
But they're immigrants. You said.
No, they came here as immigrants. However, but
So they
I want
are
to make the
immigrants.
claim
You
that
sta-
we cannot
I came
even,
here as an immigrant. I'm
but
an immigrant.
at this point, when they came, the
I
United,
think
the
that people
United
aren't
States
happy with the way
economy,
this is going for you.
the United States economy was not at.
It's better. Yeah, once they found out that she was also a daughter of immigrants, they're like, yeah, get her out, get her out. Get her out both of this country, literally and figuratively, and also get her out of this debate.
Now, the American economy is better than it's been
Not
for
from
many
the-
years.
not from the
And I can say
statistics
that
I
as someone
see.
who doesn't like Donald Trump.
We're
Which
giving
statistics are you
millions
seeing?
and billions of dollars
Which
to
statistics
people
are you
of,
seeing?
minorities as well as
The reason the
immigrants
economy is doing badly now is
that
because
we
Donald
can't- that
Trump's
we're giving
tariff
it to
policy.
We're giving millions and billions of dollars to minorities and immigrants. Okay. Her parents came here as immigrants. She was born here. When Republicans talk about the strain that immigrants put on the American economy, they're lying. But the way that they lie is literally her. They point to her and people like myself and many others who are the children of non-citizens, who are natural born citizens, who do have access to some of the limited social safety nets, like and public education and things like that. They add that to the calculation to make it seem as though immigrants are actually costing the American social safety nets this much. They're not talking about immigrants. They're talking about American citizens, just born to parents that are immigrants.
We cannot
Nothing
even
to
get
do with
businesses.
migrants. In fact, the
they
congressional
can't even start businesses.
Yeah, the thing that is I guess like kind of wrong, or the thing that like causes me some gripe with Mehdi is, and his argument is like, he's not addressing the anger that these people have. This is the problem. And their anger is directed in the wrong direction, but there is some underlying truth behind the reason why they talk about economic instability. This is a major issue with liberalism. To say, well, the GDP looks good, the economy looks good, the American economy, the American economic engine is in full tilt, baby. Like that kind of stuff doesn't actually address the real issues that people are experiencing. That's the problem. That's why I keep saying like, oh, I don't know about this argument. I don't know about that argument. Because like the appropriate way to look at this is to say, yeah, you're frustrated, but you're blaming the wrong guy. You're frustrated, but someone who is responsible for the economic uncertainties that you are experiencing has also told you that the reason why you're feeling angry is because of Mexicans. That's not the case. It's because of Trump, and it's because of the Democratic Party as well. It's because of the Republicans, because of the Democrats in charge. They are not addressing your needs. Okay? And I totally understand that. But we can't come to a reasonable conclusion here if you keep repeating over and over again that it's actually Mexicans that are responsible for the fucking housing shortage. You know what I mean? It's just fucking stupid. The debate points you mentioned earlier were the right way to approach this.
I'm an immigrant. I started a business.
No, I understand because
like that's why but of course, come on, I think most of them on the set are just pathologically racist nutjobs, not suffering proletarian, directing their anger in the wrong direction. You're not wrong, but you're not talking to them. You're talking to their fan base, and their fan base is filled to the brim with angry racist people that are proletarian and redirecting their anger and frustration in the wrong direction. A communicator such as Mehdi Hasan is aware of that reality. That's why he's doing this. But because he's so used to debating people who are at least like somewhat knowledgeable and much better at debating than these fucking dildos are, and want media careers, so they don't normally come out and say that they're fucking fascists. Are you triggered? That he's so hyper focused on immediately tackling the argument that is being presented to him, and not tackling the actual reasoning behind the frustration that like people in their fan bases and people who tune in from their fan bases experience. They don't even have fan bases? No, but there are people who will tune into this video and will find themselves on the MAGA side or find themselves like sympathetic to this kind of argumentation. And if it's properly addressed, he's very good at debating, even against his weight class. He can really throw his weight around. No, Mehdi is probably the best debater on the liberal side for sure. My point is that in this circumstance, his expertise is actually kind of harming him a little bit. I think the POV Mehdi's coming from is that this girl has a problem that immigrants are taking the jobs, and he's saying, look, I'm an immigrant and I'm creating jobs for you morons to make her understand. No, I know, but I don't think that's a good enough counter. I would never criticize Mehdi's skills in debating. He's fantastic.
SBA is giving people billions of loans. They're giving them billions.
I didn't take any loans.
I'm not saying you did, but I'm saying that statistically speaking, they're giving billions of loans.
So should we do statistics? According to statistics, immigrants are 80% more likely to be entrepreneurs than native-born Americans.
Sure,
they're more
absolutely.
likely to start businesses and hire Americans.
No, I'm aware of that.
Immigrants are more likely to pay in taxes than take out in benefits. They're more likely to add to innovation and jobs and wages. This is what the statistics show. The Congressional Budget Office. Let me just finish my point and then let you come back in. The Congressional Budget Office, which is bipartisan, Republicans and Democrats both use it. They have said that the immigration surge that you mentioned will lead to an extra $9 trillion of GDP over the next 10 years. That amounts to $65,000 per American household. That's $65,000 for each and every one of you holding up a red flag.
Okay, I understand
that. All right,
but
pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Mehdi.
What's going on, man? Nice to meet you. All right, so first, before I start, I need to know what you mean by good. I can talk about the economy, I can talk about culture, I can talk about all those things. I need to know what you mean.
All of them. I'm saying immigrants are good for the economy. They're good for culture.
Lower wages are
they're
good for the economy?
society. Where's the lower wages?
What do you mean, where's the lower wages?
Where are the lower wages?
Yeah, so you can
What's
look
the
at
basis for saying there are lower wages?
Sure, so you can look at like the STEM industry. It's been in like a complete and total recession. There's been tons of studies like from the Economic Policy Institute that shows that like companies like Tesla, companies from like Silicon Valley, they engaged in mass firing of workers, around 35,000, but then they hired around 12,000 H-1B visas. And it's kind of just standard economic thinking.
It's not standard economic thinking. The vast majority of economists and economic studies suggest that there is a negligible, if no impact on wages over time.
That's not.
See, this is what I mean. His argument isn't wrong. Immigrants are used as a second-class labor pool to actually depress wages for the entire labor pool. Okay? That's correct. That is not incorrect. That's actually a correct argument. The issue, on the other hand, however, is who is firing the fucking American labor force and displacing them. Refocus your enmity towards those people. And also, on top of that, understand that if the guys that were coming in had wage parity, then it would not be a depressive force on the existing labor pool's wages. Just like unionization actually draws up wages for the rest of the sector, okay? People who are in unions in the same sector often have 10% higher salaries than those who are non-unionized. But as a direct consequence of unionization and improving the wages of the unionized workforce, you end up scaling up the pay grade for all workers in the same sector in the same vicinity, because now other companies have to compete against the unionized workforce. Undocumented labor pools have the exact opposite reaction. Undocumented labor actually ends up depressing wages because you have a constant fucking underclass that you can replace to do these tasks. So, of course, as long as undocumented labor exists in the country, these guys are always going to work with them, especially when the penalties for the bosses is marginal in comparison to the many benefits they get from offering no benefits and much lower pay, and then sometimes paying the penalty when they want to displace and fire the entire labor force by calling ICE on themselves. That's the issue. It serves nobody any purpose to say, well, Mexicans are going to do the jobs you don't want to do. I think that is a almost supremacist argument that people make. There is truth to it, but the reality is the appropriate thing to do to increase wages across all sectors is to document the undocumented labor force and allow them to join unions and make better demands for higher wages and higher benefits and better compensation overall so that all wages can go up. H-1B visas would be perfectly fine if they had, 1, wage parity, and 2, no fear of deportation if they lose their jobs and are allowed to unionize as well. But these guys don't actually want that either. I think the economic reasons as to why these guys are anti-immigrant is simply because they want to find a different reason other than that they're fucking racist. Let's be real. They are trying to make an economic argument for why they don't want Mexicans in the country. That's it.
Immigrants. In fact, your colleague mentioned earlier, construction, there is actually evidence in construction, yes. But in some industries, in some areas, there is an impact. But overall, no. In fact,
that's not true, though. There are so many studies that track this, and Mehdi is correct. If there are any losses that are perpetrated by economists, they're relegated to certain sectors and certain income ranges. There was a Department of Labor report released in May, and the idea that they depress wages generally is wrong. I mean, I'm talking about undocumented migrants, and no Department of Labor study shows that undocumented migrants don't depress wages. And I would call in the question, because there is no lump sum of labor. This is true. This has been fucking proven in like the 17th century by economists. Okay? There isn't a finite amount of labor, because when there's more need for labor, that means more construction, more housing, more roads that you need to build, more teachers to educate people. You know what I mean? So like, it's a problem that fixes itself. However, there is one issue. If you keep them undocumented, if you keep them unprotected, then they are a never-ending pool of replaceable labor that can actually depress wages, because they will do the same jobs with much lower pay and in much worse conditions. It's slave labor, one step removed.
And a study from the National Bureau of Economic Research found that migrants since 1965 have raised wages and raised innovation.
Who's that by?
National Bureau for Economic Research.
No, hold on. That's where you publish studies. I'm asking
yes,
for
I didn't memorize the names of the authors.
Yeah, I know you did. Right?
Can you give me the authors you've got?
Yeah, hold on. The study you're talking about is from Giovanni Perry, and what he did is he didn't account for aggregation issues, nor did he.
The vast majority of studies.
Let me speak,
please.
Yeah, thank you. Right. So listen, he didn't account for aggregation issues, right? And when you look at like the spatial approach, which is what all these economists use, you're not accounting for the fact that when immigrants come into an area, natives leave. If you look at an occupational approach, where you look at
wait, what? When immigrants come to an area, natives leave? What Why are these economists not studying how racist the native population is? Because they're just like me. Why are they not accounting white flight into their economic arguments? Am I crazy? Did I misunderstand what the fuck this guy is saying? Also, ironically enough, every single area in this fucking country that is densely populated is literally it happens to be the most diverse areas in the country. So that argument is fucking insane. They are literally centers of commerce and centers of GDP production, okay? What the fuck what is this guy saying? Why won't these economists factor in white flight and my feelings about being around Mexicans? This kid actually cooked him? Damn, this young guy is cooking him. Cooked him. Yeah, I mean, he did. If you literally think that economists are supposed to factor in the pre-existing population and their fear and resentment and anger towards people that don't look like them, I guess.
Look at the specific firms that immigration is going into, like Kim ETAL 2013 did. You find a net negative impact when there's a 10% increase of immigration. You find around a 0.5% decline in wages when it comes to the specific occupations they're going to.
So
all your studies are flawed.
So 0.5%.
Oh, he's talking about pre-existing labor pool and H-1B visas, creating an environment where wages are depressed in certain sectors as a consequence of H-1B visas having additional reasons as to why they wouldn't advocate for higher wages and they could actually be paid less. He's not wrong about that. He cited et al. As an author. I don't think he meant that. I think he just meant like Kim et al. Kim ETAL. What's the difference between migrants entering the workforce and women entering the workforce? I mean, you're not wrong, but these guys don't want women entering the workforce either. So that's a point for them, I think. Yeah, women came in the workforce, okay, and they took my job away. And also they were working for less money. Really? What do you think? Yeah, these guys don't want women in the workforce either.
Weigh that up against what I just mentioned from the Congressional Budget Office, which is a massive.
Yeah, women is the immigrant of the world.
Massive boost in GDP per head, which you're not counting for. Massive increase in tax revenue. Immigrants actually funding the deficits and debts by paying way more in taxes proportionately, including undocumented immigrants. And what's interesting about wages is I'm in a room full of, I don't know what to call you anymore, conservatives, Republicans, fascists, I don't know. One of you has proudly said that.
Call us correct.
One of us proudly. Oh yeah, correct. I'm in a room full of correct people, but do any of you actually care about wages? Because for example,
I actually do.
For example, do you support raising the minimum wage?
Absolutely, and you can't do that when you're bringing all these people coming into.
Wait, why not? Wait. Hold up. Why not? Because a Mexican don't know what to do with $15 an hour. Like, wait, I'm sorry. Why wouldn't you be able to raise minimum wages if there are migrant workers, as a matter of fact? What? Because I don't want Mexicans to make $15 an hour. That's why. They're already making too much. I don't want it. Because that would make me feel bad.
It's not the reason the Republican Party blocks the minimum wage. You think Republican politicians don't vote for an increase in minimum wage because they're worried about immigration.
Did I say I voted Republican? Did I say I voted Republican?
Well, I'm in a show that was called 25 far-right Republicans.
That doesn't mean I'm going to support every single Republican candidate.
So you and I, So you and I, let's agree. We both support raising the minimum wage. Yes?
100%.
$7.25 since 2009. It's lost 30% of its value. If you care about wages, we should be raising the minimum wage in this country, not scapegoating migrants who aren't the cause of low wages in the country.
Good call call from Mehdi. Okay.
You know who's causing low wages? Billionaires, millionaires, and people who won't pay fair wages to their wages, regardless of whether you are an immigrant or a native.
I get the monologue, right? Now let me respond.
You had one.
No, it's maybe because immigrants would be willing to work on lower wages. What the fuck are you talking about? Then the solution is literally what I said. Intifada revolution, okay? The solution is what I said then. Okay, if they're documented, then it's not a problem any longer. What do you mean? Yeah, that's my argument. Okay, only one solution. It's literally not the immigrants that are at fault here. What the fuck?
You had one with your one study that had a 0.5% impact. Go.
Can you explain it fully? I think I and most of chat don't get it. Sure. If you have a bunch of people coming into the country that are purposely kept undocumented, because the difference between an undocumented migrant and a documented migrant, or an undocumented migrant and a natural born U.S. citizen, is just paperwork. Okay. If they're purposely kept undocumented, then they do not have the same protections that you do, right? Your protections are already marginal. They're already limited. But undocumented migrants do not get even the modicum of protections that you have, right? This way, they are more desperate and they are kept desperate so they can work for much lower wages. Okay? They will work for much lower wages. Companies know that they will work for much lower wages. Companies know that there is always going to be a pool of second-class citizens in this country that will work for much lower wages. So why the fuck would they actually hire you when it's going to cost them a shit ton more money? You're going to expect benefits when these guys don't expect benefits and will work for literally tiny, tiny fucking slivers of dollars. Okay? It's that simple. They will work for much lower pay than you and will do the grueling labor and won't actually complain. However, if they were actually documented, then all of a sudden they could complain. All of a sudden they could actually work for better wages. They could demand better wages and better benefits, as a matter of fact, if they were to collectively bargain in the form of developing unions. In that process, there would no longer be a secondary market that these companies could utilize. It's that simple. I explained it earlier. Unionization leads to increases in wages in the same sector in the same vicinity for even the non-unionized workplaces, because they have to now compete with higher wages and better benefits from the unionized workplace. It's even better if you're directly unionized. Immediate 10% increase in your salary on average. So if unions are responsible for increasing wages across the board, then undocumented migrants are responsible for decreasing wages across the board, because companies would rather rely on undocumented labor because they're cheaper, and they cannot advocate for their workplace protections. It's that simple. The solution to that is not to deport the undocumented labor pool. The solution to that is to actually document them.
Yeah, and your study sucked that you didn't even know who wrote it, right? So let's get back to the point, right?
Because I don't need
and
to know
there
one
it goes
study.
Again.
The majority of studies say that wages are not impacted by migration.
The majority of your studies are flawed. That's what I'm telling you.
Not my studies.
Right.
Neither of us are economists. It's the economist studies.
Don't assume who I am.
Are you an economist?
I could be.
But
right?
Are you?
I could be.
Are you?
I'm not going to tell you.
Are you?
I'm going to major in economics, right?
Are you an economist?
Oh, he's going to major in economics eventually.
No, not right now.
Okay, so when I said neither is economist, I was correct.
Just don't assume
to use your favorite word.
See here, dude, this is nothing of substance. You look at the red flags; they're coming up. Let me get to the point.
Great, but
so
when you talk
about the CBO, one thing you're not accounting for here is that they're assuming an equilibrium, right? Do you know what that means? You shouldn't make these type of assumptions. You said earlier that unemployment.
Do I know what it means? I thought we're not doing assumptions.
Okay, hold on. You mentioned we were at 4.2% percentage unemployment. Yeah, that's counting people who have part-time jobs. That's counting
That's how
poverty
it's
wages.
always been counted.
Yeah, and
I'm against poverty wages.
you
Can we
won't let
agree
me
again?
Yes, if you go to like the Lookwood Institute, they calculated a way where it's like functional unemployment. Okay, if you account for things like just people who make around $25,000 a year, people who have fallen out of the labor market, people who only work part-time, if you count all of those people together and then add on the unemployment, that's around 25% of the population. So when you go, we don't have jobs.
Wait, he's not wrong. This part is correct. No, he's not wrong. 25% of the overall like eligible labor force is unironically underemployed. Yes, there is a major issue with the gig economy in this country, and it's been completely eviscerated due to all of these dumb fuck Republicans gutting what remained of like labor protections for the past couple of decades. The solution to that, of course, isn't to just like randomly decide to deport immigrants. It's so fucking stupid. These guys are so dumb. How can you literally see the problem, correctly identify it, and then turn around and you're like, and that's why we got to deport immigrants? What the fuck? I don't understand it. I don't get it. Please, someone make sense of this. You build this argument and it makes perfect sense, and then your solution is to take a random sidestep and like punch someone else. How the fuck does that work?
We don't have people to do this, and that, and the other. No, yes, we do. Okay, we don't have a labor shortage. We have a good.
I feel like Bongino or Halo. That's amazing. Thank you. What an incredible name. The Piker Broadcasting Service is sponsored by you. I feel like Bongino or Halo and many others. Please subscribe to continue showing your support to the Piker Broadcasting Service, which is an ad-free service for all. You will never see ads on the Piker Broadcasting Service.
Good job shortage, and when you keep bringing these people in, and they're taking those jobs.
The good job shortage is the fault of big firms, employers. I'm an employer. I can say that.
Who hires the immigrants?
Who hires the immigrants?
Yeah.
Employers.
Exactly. So when you bring up these big firms,
okay, so
that's the
let
way
me
that
ask you,
keep
let me
wages
ask you
down.
a
You
question.
understand that, right?
So let me ask you a question. If you got rid of all immigrants coming in tomorrow, moratorium, you think that Republicans and employers of big firms would suddenly raise all the wages? That's what you
Great question. This is a great question from Mehdi. It's true. Do you think? Do you think that these guys would magically? It's the same principle behind like the Pareto principle. These guys will be like, immigrants are coming in and they're fucking my girlfriend. Okay, I can't have a girlfriend because the market, the dating market is polluted. There's too many people with their salsa hips. It's like, okay, let's say we now magically wave a wand and it's a white only nation. Do you think you're going to get pussy? No, you're not going to get pussy, dumbass. It's going to be the top 20% of Aryan chads that fuck 80% of the Aryan ladies. Okay? That's it. You haven't actually fixed the problem for yourself, okay? All you did is eradicate the salsa hips. That's all you did. That's it. That's it. It's so stupid. You're still maidenless, okay? It's dumb. It's dumb as fuck. Just like if you were to eradicate the millions of migrants, documented and undocumented, from the fucking labor pool, you're not going to get better wages as a consequence of that. You're just going to cripple the economy. You're going to destroy the economy. That's all you're going to do. I don't get it. What was the correct problem he identified? That there is criminal underemployment in this country. 25% of the labor force is underemployed. He's right about that. That is a real fucking issue. Okay? If left unaddressed, we're going to have more and more economic instability. That's it. That part is correct. But immigrants are not responsible for that. That's fucking stupid.
So what I said, you
That's
notice
what
how
you believe.
It was a complete. Your ankles
That's what
all
you
right?
believe.
You pivoted the hell
That's what
away
you
from the
believe.
conversation.
Is that what you? I'm on
Are
the
your ankles
subject.
okay?
Do you believe that wages? I'm just wondering how naive you are. You believe that the 1% will raise wages in the federal wage
They will
if
be
we
forced
stop
to.
immigration?
They will be forced to. When you increase labor's relationship to capital, okay, and you give labor more bargaining power because you're
But
tightening
this
the
is a very
supply of
simplistic
labor.
understanding of economics because you're
Okay,
not,
explain I'm wrong.
He's not wrong. I can't believe this motherfucker is using labor bargaining power. Oh my God. How can you fucking say that and then turn around and be like, it's the immigrants? that are at fault. They're also laborers, you fucking moron. What are you talking about? They're also a part of the labor pool, you jackass. Do you think when someone is a Mexican, all of a sudden they're not like a laborer? Well, how does this work? This is why I'm fucking annoyed with this idiotic argumentation. He only read half the book? No, he didn't read any of the book, okay? He thinks immigrants are scabs. I guess.
Tell you how you're wrong. Because you're ignoring the fact that when immigrants come into an area, they spend money. They create jobs through their presence.
About 1/5 of their monthly income leaves the country.
That's a good thing also because you don't like US aid, foreign aid. So this is the point. They create jobs. I came into this country. So far, every one of my assumptions.
Like, if you think there's two tiers of labor, okay? You got laborer and then you got Mexican. Then make the Mexicans laborer, okay? Put them in the labor class by doing what? Documenting them. There you go. Boom. Magically solve the problem, okay? The issue with like Nazballs and people like this that try to act as though the problem is fucking migrants is that it has no, like, it's just wrong. It has no materialist understanding. There's no difference functionally between a Guatemalan migrant laborer and an American laborer, okay? An American citizen who is a laborer in the same fucking field. There's nothing. There's no difference. They still got two hands and they're still fucking hammering the nail the same way, okay? That's it. They're both working. They're both doing labor. They're both having their surplus labor values stolen by their bosses. The solution to this problem is not by, I don't know, culling the fucking pre-existing labor force. The solution to this problem is to make sure that there is a bottom in the labor force where everyone is properly protected. That's it.
It's about you as being correct. But listen to me. I am an immigrant. I'm speaking from personal experience.
Get the hell out.
I don't even like... I should get the hell out.
Yes.
Why?
I don't want you here.
Why?
Because you come here and say all this bullshit about how Americans are lazy.
Why?
You push your left-wing
I never
politics.
said Americans are lazy.
I don't know why you say this.
I never said Americans are lazy.
Yes, you are.
The only person
You're saying
attacking
immigrants
people
have
is
to
you.
come into this country so they can do jobs that we don't want to do.
I
That's
never
exactly
said those
what
words.
you said.
When did I say it?
Oh, really? You
When did I
didn't
say it?
We're
on YouTube. Guys watching on YouTube.
You're so triggered, except he's literally losing an argument. He's not even, he could have even won this argument, ironically enough, if he just didn't fucking randomly become insanely racist here. But I guess that's the whole point for these guys, ultimately. He's just like shaking with racism.
Rewind to the time where I said immigrants are doing jobs we don't want to do. When did I say those words? Words that came out of my mouth.
Okay, so why do we have to bring in immigrants? Why do we have to bring in immigrants to the country if we have people who are going to do the jobs?
Seen this too often in the rural South. This is unresolved anger problems, man. Scary when it goes this far.
Pause, you've been voted out.
It's nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you.
You're going to have to go, bro.
Nice talking to you. You're going to have to go, bro, is what he said as I left to an American citizen. Good to know where you stand on immigration. It's not about immigration, is it? That's what it's not about.
Yeah, it's racism. Please. Yes!
Hey, how you doing?
Yes.
Good to see you. How are you?
Yes. The magician. Okay. I can't wait to hear what comes out of this motherfucker's mouth. Okay. Oh, my Lord.
So, what type of immigrants are we talking about?
Oh, my God. Oh, bro, I am Persian, bro. Donald Trump is my president. Oh, bro. What type of immigrant are you talking about, bro? Oh, let's go. Oh, hell yeah. I'm locked in.
What do you mean?
Like any immigrants or
Well, immigrants, that's what I said. Immigrants
are illegal
overall.
immigrants.
Undocumented immigrants also contribute
Illegal.
greatly to the U.S. I say undocumented. I don't think people are illegal.
So, let's put it this way. I mean, I'm an immigrant too, from Iran.
Okay.
There isn't even
How
a
do you
US...
feel about the fact that people...
Wait, oh, you're from Iran? Oh, I couldn't clock that. Thank you. I couldn't see the pin. Oh, hell yeah. This guy's awesome.
Here want you out. Are you okay with that?
I'm here to debate you, not debate them.
I mean,
oh, shit. Oh, shit.
You're all on the same side. You're part of one group.
No.
You've been clapping each other.
No, I mean, there are conservatives here. There are far-right people here. There are Republicans
But how do
here.
you feel about that guy wanting me and you to leave?
But, you know, let's
I'm just
stick-
wondering. Wait, this is the topic of immigration.
It's not
how
about
do you feel about the guy?
It's not about my feelings towards them.
Okay.
It's about staying on this topic.
Okay.
And
Immigrants
talk
are good for America, yeah. You and me.
If you weren't barely Turkish, you could not get away with joking about an accent like that. Okay.
We're good for America. And the guy over there wants us to leave. So I'm just wondering how you feel about that.
So I believe that there has to be strict immigration laws.
Okay.
We have to make sure that the people are coming here have the good intent of the United States in mind.
That's not my claim, but okay.
So
my claim is about immigrants are net positive.
If we just open our borders to every single person
No one
that wants to
calls
be
for open
here,
borders.
you know, that claims that they have economical hardship in their country.
Who's calling for open borders?
No, I'm just saying, you know.
I mean, it's a straw man, so you're just saying a straw man.
No, I'm saying
You're
that
wasting
if
time with a straw man. No one's calling for open borders. I didn't call for open
well,
borders.
you wasted
I said
time.
immigrants who...
You
Sorry?
wasted time trying to cause division between me and my friends
Division.
over
He
here.
wants you to leave the country. That's a pretty big deal.
All right.
I mean, you can ignore
Like
it,
you
but that's
said-
your side, my friend.
Like I said,
You
you were
made
the
your
one
bet.
that tried to derail this argument.
Derail?
By bringing that.
It's
Even
literally
though we're
core to my
trying
argument. I'm saying immigrants are good to America. People on
And-
your
and
side
I
are
asked
saying
you, what
we
type
should
of-
leave.
This dude has 100% tied a damsel to some train tracks at some point in his life. He's dastardly. There's no other word to use here other than dastardly. Okay? Oh my God, I love him. Oh, he's so amazing.
Not me.
And,
me and
I
you.
asked you, what type of immigrants are we talking about? Are we
Immigrants
talking about
overall.
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 So
I mean,
so
we're not going to.
So
you,
you
want to get me
believe?
to, you want me to get into like particular communities? I'm not playing that
So
game.
you believe that people that come here without
Overall,
any
help
respect,
the society.
without any respect to our laws and our border, you know,
What are you saying, man? What are you saying? People who are coming here to fucking with no respect for our laws, like, dude, people are coming here to survive, okay? There's no like secondary motive. There's no other alternative reason. It's just, that's it. That's what they're coming here for. They're not like, oh, I can't wait to be in America so I can avoid their laws.
are going to be good for this.
Also, you can't be fucking Persian and be talking like this about immigrants, dude. What the fuck do you mean? Like, you're literally at most second generation. Your fucking parents were afforded amnesty. Shut the fuck up. What do you mean? Half of the guys in that room don't even want you there. What are you talking about?
This country.
No, of course not.
So you can't say that all immigrants overall.
I never said all immigrants.
Well,
I said
you
immigrants overall. Immigrants overall doesn't mean all immigrants. Sorry to break that to you.
All right. So we have to make sure that the people are coming here have the good intent of this country in mind. Agreed?
Yes.
All right,
Irrelevant
good.
to my claim,
But
but
when you
agreed.
have undocumented immigration going
Yes.
on,
Yeah.
you can't vet that. You can't make sure about that. Let me real quick, talk about, my background. There is no the American embassy in Iran. So in order to come here, you have to stay in line for 4 years, and you have to go through some serious vetting procedure to get here. But I made it. And that process has to be in place because, you don't want terrorists
But I'm
to fill this country.
I made it too. I'm an American citizen. I went through lots of vetting. I took my test.
And that's
But the
how
guy
it
over
should
there
be.
wants us to leave.
But
he wants us to leave.
When people,
so people don't really care about vetting, do they?
But
it's not really about vetting, is it, my
but
friend?
people should not have
You're in
the
denial.
right. People should not have the right to ignore our borders and our laws.
What about those
to
of us who
come
don't
here.
ignore the borders? Should we get to stay?
Of course.
But he says we shouldn't.
Well, I'm not debating him.
You kind of are because you're all together on this.
No, I'm debating you.
Okay. And I'm pointing out to you that your argument is in bad faith because these guys are actually speaking the truth and you're in denial about who's on your side. He wants you gone.
The guy in the back's like, yeah, Mehdi's cooking here. I do want him out. Look at his hat. My hat's way cooler. Get him out.
Never claim that I'm on their side or they're on my side. I'm here to debate you.
All right, pause. You've been voted out by the majority.
By the way, this is so funny because he literally got clapped because he's Iranian. Like, because automatically his position is untenable for the rest of the races in the room. So, like, yeah, on the issue of immigration, their point is get him out. So you can't even actually have any sort of response here. He won't be prepared.
Nice to meet you. Hey, how you doing? I'm Mehdi.
Edwin.
Nice to meet you.
The question is, immigration is good for America, right?
Overall, if you look at the net positives to
God.
things
brother.
like our society,
Here we
our
go.
culture, our food, our economy, our general diversity. I know the D word is a bad word in places like this. I think immigrants have been a net positive. I think if you look at your everyday lives, we all benefit from immigration.
And what kind of conservatives disagree with that?
The guy,
Besides
the guy,
racist
some of the guys who told me to leave this place and go back to, I'm not a citizen.
Do you think all conservatives?
No.
Oh.
No, in fact, Ronald Reagan, who's a president I wasn't a big fan of until Donald Trump.
Oh my God, this guy keeps waving dude. Oh my God, whenever they see brown conservatives, they just keep fucking voting them out. Oh no, they just immediately, they're like, nope, flag them. Get the Mexican out.
Coming on now, people like Reagan look good in comparison. Reagan said in 1986, our country is a nation of immigrants. Our immigrant heritage is our strength. He gave an amnesty to 3 million undocumented migrants. He understood the value of immigration. So I'm with Reagan.
Yeah,
Although
I'm
this
with
guy's
Reagan.
putting his thumb down there. So
I'm with
Reagan's not
Reagan,
popular in right-wing crowds these days.
Yeah. Well, he's popular with me.
Good to hear.
I'm a deferred action of childhood arrivals. I'm actually.
Bro, are you okay? Did you get lost? Did they lie to you? Did they say, what? Hopefully this is a moment of self-reflection after this entire thing went down, right? What does that mean? I'm ESL. DACA, he's a dreamer. That means his parents brought him into the country when he was under the age of 18, when he was a child. And under the Obama administration, he got Deferred Action on Childhood Arrival, DACA, which is an executive order that allowed him to go through this incredibly rigorous process so that he can consistently have his immigration status held in limbo permanently. You have to go to college, you have to retain a job, you can't leave the country, you can't get into any fucking criminal trouble whatsoever, because if you do, you immediately get fucking deported. And it's crazy because you didn't do anything. Like, you were a baby, you were a child, you could not consent to coming into the country or not. And this country, in most circumstances, is all you have known. You have no connection to your home country. You have you're American through and through. How the fuck do you consider yourself a far-right conservative as a DACA recipient? That I don't understand. Like, it literally, you got kicked in the head by a horse or something? Like, how did this happen? Did he stroke out like John Fetterman? What's happening here?
I was an illegal immigrant myself. I came here when I was 10. I'm what you would call a legal alien now. I didn't have any say on my parents' choices.
Yes.
Do I think that they were well-meaning by wanting to bring me over for a better future? Absolutely. I believe that.
Yeah.
Did they break the law? Yes. Do I agree with people breaking the law? Not necessarily.
Okay, self-deport? Like, what? Bro, what is he doing? What? What is he saying?
Do I think that there's ever a situation where you can break the law for the better or the
Bro
greater
just debated himself only to lose on the premise. What the fuck?
good? Immigration is it's an interesting issue because I do agree with you that
good to hear.
Everyone is an immigrant in the sense. Like, can you tell me a little bit more about your journey
I've been here 10 years. I'm a proud American citizen. I'm a dual national. I'm British. I'm American. And I am an immigrant who's contributing to this country. So, yes, I'm very much proud of America's immigrant heritage. I'm part of it. And despite what one of the other people said on this show earlier, everyone here, unless you're Native American,
All right,
is a descendant of
pause.
immigrants.
Sorry, you've been voted out.
Of course.
Please return to your seat.
Thank you, man.
Nice to meet you.
What?
How's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Actually, a fan. I see you a lot on Piers Morgan.
Okay, thank you for watching.
Yeah. So, my argument is that Americans are what is a nation? A nation is a geographical location full of people who have some things in common.
Did they get like? Did that guy sneak in? Like, what happened? Why was that guy? Why was the previous? What did the previous guy say? Like, he just came up and was like, I think sometimes breaking the law, especially when it comes to immigration, is good because I'm like literally a recipient of my parents illegally bringing me here, and I don't think it's a crime. Did he have an epiphany in real time? Like, what happened? He's an MMA guy, 1,000%. Call Felix, he will explain. Is CTE brain? Didn't we see this Amish motherfucker before? Jedediah. I feel like we saw Jedediah before in a previous video.
So I think some of the things typically in history are going to be like race, religion, ethnicity, language. These are some of the things that we have to have in common in order to actually have a functioning civilization, especially in self-government. I'm not necessarily a giant fan of self-government. I'm a Catholic nationalist. I'm not a fascist. You have to have at least some things in common in order to
Agreed.
actually have a civilization. And the immigrants, especially illegal immigrants that come into this country.
Jeff Dippard. No, stop. Why'd you have to do Jeff like that? Stop it. This is the bad universe Jeff. This is the Jeff that doesn't do dips, okay? More like Jeff no dippered. This is Jeff Nippard if he didn't work out, okay? He just instead of hitting the gym, he maxed out his racism points.
Now, disrespect us. They hate everything that we believe. They don't even speak our language. I watched, after Trump got elected, I watched an interview of an illegal alien woman crying and about getting deported, and the entire interview was in Spanish. That is a spit in the face. It's disrespect. They don't care about us. They abuse our system.
So you've gone from a teleological argument into just a bunch of series of wild, unsubstantiated claims.
Well, I'm asking you, what is
I don't accept any of those claims, that they hate everything we stand for. And I don't accept, I'm not going to deal with the teleology. I'm going to deal with the false claims that you made.
Go ahead.
There's no bait. What's your...
Like, there's never been, you know what's really crazy about this? There's never been a point in American history where we haven't had an influx of migrants coming in from a country that didn't like primarily speak English. That has just never happened. Okay? This is one of the most American aspects. Like, it is probably the only good thing about America, like immediately. There has never been in the history of the United States, okay, from even before 1776 and certainly after, has there ever been just only English speakers coming into the country, okay? There have always been other nationalities. There's always been other languages, okay? Motherfucker says England. You think America was entirely comprised of the English? Is that what you think was going on? Because even then, there were the French, there were the Dutch, there were the Germans. You understand that, right? And those motherfuckers didn't speak English. What the fuck do you think? Like, this fucking dipshit's great-grandparents at a certain point, okay, I assume, given his Mormon or given his Amish background, even though he said he's a Catholic nationalist or whatever the fuck, you can't fool me, Jedediah. I know you speak Dutch Amish, okay? At a certain point, your fucking ancestors were living in goddamn mud huts speaking German. Okay? That's what they were doing. Don't come to me with this bullshit. It's fucking ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. The idea that there's like, well, they're speaking Spanish is disrespectful. What do you mean? No, you're disrespectful. What you're saying is antithetical to the development of the American country, okay? The nation state of America. You just are doing the other side of the story, which is classic. Whenever like new waves of migrants are coming into the fucking country, you got motherfuckers who are complaining about how they don't speak American. That's it. That's always existed as well as migration being a persistent force. The other side of the story is that there have always been people who go, nah, you're different. I don't like you. You don't speak my language. You're untrustworthy. Here he goes again, forgetting that famous English speakers like Ponce de Leon, Christopher Columbus, and Leif Erikson.
A basis for saying that all immigrants or all undocumented immigrants hate everything we stand for. It's funny that you said you're a Catholic nationalist. How did most Catholics get to America? Irish Catholics, Italian Catholics. Immigration. Much of the people coming across the southern border are Catholics.
Yeah, I know. I don't.
So it's really funny that you say you're a Catholic nationalist, but Catholics came to America via immigration.
Yeah, so
immigration is good for America.
Yeah, but there's the new kind of Catholics I don't like. You know, the Spanish-speaking kind, except for the original Spanish-speaking kind of Catholics.
You and I can agree. Otherwise, people of your faith wouldn't be here.
No. Well, we were here on this side of the world, in this continent, from conquest. We came over here, and
but the big surges of numbers, as you well know, because you're a smart guy, Italian, Irish immigration waves, Catholic immigration waves.
Okay, yeah, and I'm not even claiming.
Against those?
I'm not even
Were
claiming.
you against those? If you were alive,
I'm
then?
not even claiming that
'Cause
immigration
a lot of people
is
were
bad.
against those.
I'm not claiming immigration is bad in all cases at all times.
What is your claim?
My claim is that immigration, especially now, and especially for foreign people that have nothing in common with us.
What the fuck did a Catholic have in common with the OG white Anglo-Saxon Protestants? What are you saying? Half of the motherfuckers were escaping the Catholics, dog. What are you saying? What is this world right now? What are you talking about? And the dudes you were talking about literally spoke Spanish, motherfucker. Why do you think they speak Spanish? You think the indigenous population naturally spawned with Spanish built into their brains? What the fuck are you saying? He's like, oh, well, you know, them Spaniards coming down the southern border, we got to fucking put a stop to that. Why are they speaking Spanish? What? None of this makes sense. None of this makes sense. The Aztecs in Spain simultaneously invented Spanish. It's much easier to be racist, like they are having a tough time trying to dance around it, where they don't make sense. Yeah, it's kind of funny because like the first party that came in and were like, I'm a racist piece of shit, and I think I would rather live in filth and make sure that there is not a single person that doesn't look like me and isn't just as inbred as me living on U.S. soil, right? Like that guy has a much easier time making a convincing case because he's just more honest. This guy's like, well, I'm not a fascist. I'm just a Catholic nationalist who seemingly hates the Catholics that are coming from the southern border who speak Spanish, even though my ancestors also spoke Spanish as Catholics. And also, some immigration is good, but others is not. And I will not tell you what is bad about the immigration because I'm too afraid of saying I'm scared of brown people. Like, that's it.
It's funny that you say it's especially
a negative
now.
thing.
I've forgotten your name. My apologies.
Brian. Yeah, how many
in every era there has been a Brian who says, "I'm not against immigration, just immigration now."
Okay.
This is what people said about Italians. It's what people said
That's
about Irish folks.
unfortunate, sorry.
Said about Russians, Poles, and now we're saying about
why
people
should
coming
I care
across the
about
southern
that?
border. Because you're not being you're
Why
being a
are-
little disingenuous saying
Okay.
I'm only against immigrants now. This is a trope.
How's that disingenuous?
This is because it's a trope that's been used by nativists throughout American history.
No.
And every wave of immigrants has come in and faced the same hate and animus and bigotry and lazy trope. And every wave of immigration is ultimately
Well, I think-
assimilated, integrated, benefited the
let me
country. In
make
fact,
a-
assimilation right now, according to Jacob Victor from the University of Washington, assimilation rates based on language and citizenship and naturalization are higher now than 100 years ago.
Okay, let me make a statement first. I think that you in your
Cooked. Also, second gen, it's over. Okay? Second gen is almost complete assimilation. By third gen, it's over. Every third generation immigrant actually falls into the same fucking idiotic fail son pattern that we all as American citizens have fallen into. Okay? 100%. Even the moral minority or whatever, the fucking representatives hailed as like the best minority group, East Asians specifically. Third generation. Look at TikTok. They're American, fully fleshed out, getting fucking awful grades, just like everybody else. Modeled minority, not moral minority. I'm sorry. That's Paul Weirich's moral majority. What is this? Pepega, I'm not Mexican, I'm American. I'm fourth gen East Asian and my grades are fine. Okay, I'm fucking congratulations. Anyway, the point is there are a shit ton of studies on this, okay, in terms of cultural assimilation. By the second generation, it's over. Aren't fat Turks also just American? They eat burger and consume 24/7? Yes. To be fat and to consume is the most American you can be. Therefore, there are many Americas all around the world for eyes to see, and there are many Americans all around the world for eyes to see. Bro shaved and put the glasses on. Oh my God. It is him. It's Jedediah. Oh, he thought he was slick, dude. He was like, oh, let me shave the beard down a little bit.
Ignored my statement, but okay.
you and your own person are a complete perfect example of why immigration is negative and why we shouldn't allow people who don't have anything in common with us. You're pro-abortion, you're pro-euthanasia, you're pro.
I'm pro-euthanasia.
Yeah, you went. I've seen your stuff. You've defended euthanasia.
Pro-euthanasia.
Yeah, on Piers Morgan.
No, I've never discussed euthanasia with Piers Morgan in my life.
Okay, so my point is that you don't agree
Actually,
with
I'm
the
the guy
founders
here.
of this country.
If anyone watching at home, I'm the only guy here who actually supports American values, democracy, free speech, the Constitution. I've got folks here telling me they don't believe in democracy, that they're nationalists.
Wait, why should we care about that, by the way?
Isn't that what America stands for? What does America stand for?
Why?
I mean, I never defended euthanasia on Piers Morgan either, so I think he's just being... Also, what does he mean pro-abortion? Like, what founding father wasn't pro-abortion, you fucking dingus? Not that they matter ultimately, but like these guys just have made up a fantasy in their minds of what it means to be like American and espouse American values and all this shit. And it's so fucking stupid because they're talking about an America that never existed. Benjamin Franklin wrote home remedies in a fucking math book about how to do abortions at home. Okay? This concept of like being anti-abortion is a relatively new phenomena in the American right. You have literally just like in your mind created a vision. Shit. What is this? Mr. Hands 01? Hi, Hasan. I'm a Chinese teenager. I just want to say I agree with 99% of your takes on China. You've definitely helped me understand more deeply about America. Before you, I am kind of an American glazer. Even in a period of time, I think American system is better than China, obviously, because I hate censorship. But you let me realize there's a lot of shitty stuff in America and a lot of good things in China. Whenever you come to China, we welcome you with wide arms. Hell yeah. Let's go. Chinese HasanAbi head. Don't worry, I'm coming soon. I'm out here making Chinese motherfuckers respect China more. That's crazy. I don't know if that's a real chatter or not, but that's probably a troll. But I'm going to fucking, for the purpose of this argument, I'm going to act like it's real. They got banned because it was too long. Fascist auto-clapped them. They didn't get banned. They just got suppressed. Dude, that's wild. That's wild. I'm making Chinese motherfuckers appreciate their government more. That's nothing. You got Vietnamese glazing China. That's true. That is also true.
You hate what America stands for, not me.
I'm not even
and
saying...
in fact, all the studies show that immigrants actually are more patriotic than native-born Americans.
The only reason why, that's the Mexicans in LA right now burning it down, waving Mexican.
There's nothing more American than fucking revolt. Okay, suck my dick. There's nothing more American than wanting to defend your community against a fucking fascist authoritarian, unjustifiably bringing in, unconstitutionally, mind you, mask-wearing thugs to rip apart members of our fucking community from their homes at their place of business. Suck my fucking dick, okay? Go back to Amish Town, man. Go back to Pennsylvania, bitch. Why are you in front of magical cameras speaking? Go back to churning butter, Jedediah. Fuck you mean? LA is burning. They're burning LA. Motherfucker, you're in LA. They flew your bitch ass out to chirp. Is it burning?
LA's being burned down?
Please don't send us back to the country that we're waving the flag of.
I've been in LA for a few days. I didn't see anything burned down.
Yeah, I know. The riots have ended. That's because Trump sent.
But if it's burned down, where's it all burned down? I haven't seen it. I've traveled around all of LA. You said LA was burned down. LA is 500 square miles. It's not a figure of speech, actually. It's another false claim of yours.
No, they're burning.
I support euthanasia. LA's burned to the ground.
Bro, just
immigrants hate what we stand for.
Okay, so.
What is this? Ask Murad about Mr. Hands. I'm reading a KT document written by him. I don't know what you're saying, but you're fucking annoying me, so I'm going to give you a week off.
I'm super relaxed.
You're pro-abortion.
But you're just saying one false thing after another.
So you're pro-abortion,
and
right?
I'm standing by my position. Immigrants are good for
You're pro-abortion. You're an immigrant.
I'm pro Roe v. Wade.
Yeah,
personally, I'm not pro-abortion. If you knew anything about me, you know.
Roe v. Wade is...
All right, pause. You've been voted out.
I was going to say nice to meet you, Brian, but I guess not. You made it.
Great to see you. My name is Cyrus.
Nice to meet you, Cyrus.
I am also son of 2 immigrants, came in legally. I'm also Persian descent.
Fantastic.
Born in LA.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Terangeles.
Yes.
Terangeles.
Well, I am mainly upset, not at the immigrants, legal or not. I'm mainly upset at Wall Street. I'm mainly upset at the elites, the special interests.
I'm with you.
They are the main reason why we've been having this issue since 1965. And most want to do well. There are a few bad apples, we can agree.
Okay.
But we want to go after the elites. They are the main cause of the problem.
Love it.
And just like healthcare, trade, everything.
Did you know, Cyrus, that the top 1% dodge $163 billion in taxes every year, while undocumented people pay $100 billion in tax? So I know where my anger is against.
There are issues with our tax system on the rich, but in a state like California, some taxes are too high. I used to live here, now I live in Las Vegas.
Different debate.
Okay.
I'm saying immigration is good for America.
Depends on the
People
tax.
like you and me overall are good for America is what I'm saying.
Okay, but depends on how it's done.
Yes.
It depends on how it's done.
And how it's been done for the US is
I'm not blaming the housing crisis on immigrants, not on wages, but in a state like California that doesn't build enough homes and they're bringing immigrants in, you have to increase supply of housing.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
But this is where our anger is at the political class.
I agree.
The Democrat Party used to have a different stance on immigration 15 years ago. Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton.
I'm not a fan of that. I'm not here to defend different Democrats. What I will say is
that's our anger.
What I will say is that everyone here actually does think immigration is good for America. Everyone here uses an iPhone designed by an immigrant, is on Gmail designed by an immigrant, is is on a YouTube show.
But
you guys all came to a YouTube show founded by an immigrant. You wouldn't be here.
But that's
if it
a
wasn't for
tiny
an immigrant.
minority.
So you all love immigrants, whether you like it or not.
Okay, but it is a taboo subject. Should we be concerned about the demographics? So
no.
Anglo-Saxon, European American, 0% of America, it doesn't matter.
Are they 0% of America?
Well, let's say if it becomes 0%, it should not worry.
They're not going to. Why are you bringing weird hypotheticals?
But there has to. But I mean, they're still part of our country. There's culture. There's.
Yeah.
What do you? None of this matters, bro. You're doing it. You're doing that. Okay. You're Persian. Like you're Persian. Okay. What are you defending here? Who gives a fuck? Why does anybody care about this? Like, oh, my Anglo-American heritage is going away. What the fuck do you mean? You're American. Okay. That's your heritage. You're American. That is what makes you different than everybody else. What the fuck is Anglo-American heritage, dude? Like, a lot of these guys end up without realizing, I mean, it's even funnier because he's fucking Persian, but like they just make an argument against miscegenation because that's the only way you can prevent that from happening. You understand that, right? The only way you can prevent like whiteness going away is by literally making it illegal to race mix. Because whiteness is a concept that is created around racial purity, okay? Proximity to blackness and I guess whoever else you consider to be like lesser than white.
I mean, even Britain, like,
I mean,
it
America's
concerns
gone
me.
through many
But
demographic
it
waves,
concerns me when Britain is changing,
Britain
and it's, you know, it's like
Britain's
they're
been
losing their
changing for
culture.
years.
But it's
Who said
losing
they're
their
losing their
culture.
Who
Are
says
they?
so?
Are they going to try to?
I'm
what
from
are
the
they
UK.
gonna,
I'm telling you, no one's losing their culture in the UK.
London is going to be very little British in
Who
one
says
day. What's the plan? That's what we want to know. What's the
You
plan?
just made that up. Have you been
But
to London?
how do we know?
Cyrus, have you been to London?
No.
So then maybe you shouldn't comment on places you don't know anything about.
But what's the plan?
I grew up in London.
What's
London's
the
a very
general
British
plan?
city. I was in London a few weeks ago.
Okay.
It's a very British city.
I hope not. I understand that there are people in this audience that don't like me or you in this country, and I respect that. There's some.
Why are white boys so fucking open about their racism? Like, why are there dudes in the audience that are like, hell yeah, I don't want any of you motherfuckers here? Yo, they should not feel this safe, I think, under any circumstance. What's going on? Wokes, we got to pick up the slack here, Wokes. What are we doing here? What the fuck is this shit? Like, woke is back. I think we need to remind people that woke is back. This is crazy.
That don't even want me to date a blonde woman. They want to keep to their own, or ginger or whatever. I respect that, but there has to be a deal made. There's Idaho, there's Montana. They can go live in a homogeneous society. I don't believe in force, okay? And I believe that there has to be a deal made. And I think there.
Dude, what is this guy saying? Bro, you're brown. You're browner than me, motherfucker. What is this guy saying? Hello? Hello? There are dudes back there who unironically are like, no, get the fuck out, actually. Like, what is this argument that is like, well, there's too much. There's too much migration. Like, after me, we're done. Is that what it is? Like, he's like, it's done. We have too many fucking Persians in the country. Is that what he's saying? God, I am fascinated with like how diverse the racist movement has gotten. You know that meme where it's like, racists don't give a fuck what you are as long as you're racist as fuck. I feel like that's happening more and more every day. Except they do give a fuck if you're, black or brown and racist. They just like are just kind of saying like, good, keep saying the things I want you to say for now.
There's upsides and downsides to
There is a
diversity.
deal made. People have elections. They vote for elections. And right now, there's Donald Trump in the White House. Not someone I support, but people voted for him.
Well, why did he get in? Mainly because we had
That's a big subject.
2016,
Not sure we have time to get into that.
2016,
There's a lot of
Bernie
reasons he got in.
Sanders. Okay.
Part of the reason he got in is that people in this room want people like me and you to leave, and they voted for him to try and make that happen.
I'm not surprised. One of the Charlottesville marchers doesn't like me, and I've met those people, and I respect their views.
You really shouldn't.
Well,
Don't
they're once.
Huh? Bro, he thinks your existence on U.S. soil is polluting the gene pool. Why do you respect that? I think you should just respect yourself a little bit. Like, what? I respect the Nazi's Nazi attitude, even though he doesn't respect me. I respect that he wants me dead. What is happening here? How can someone be this cucked? A feral animal has better self-preservation skills than this fucking dumbass here, okay?
Respect racists and fascists is my advice to you.
Well, they have their preferences. You know, that's just, we can't change that.
Actually, we can. That's why I tried to come in today, but anyways.
All right, that's time. Please return to your seat.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you,
Great
Cyrus.
pleasure. Good.
This was the best one. My final claim is that Donald Trump's plan for Gaza is ethnic cleansing.
Okay. I'm not doing that today. I don't have time or the soul to be able to do that. We're going to pocket this part for tomorrow because I've been live for 9 hours and 30 minutes. What a way to come back. Although it says I've been live for 6 hours and 48, I've actually been live for 9 hours because I've been live since 11 a.m. So, love you guys. Another half day. Came back with a vengeance. You already know. You already know what it is, baby. Love you all, and I will see you tomorrow. No interruptions this time. I'm going to go straight to the fucking source and do a straight up Twitch stream instead of using IRL Toolkit that is cooked right now. Anyway, that's all I got for the moment. Love you all, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace.
Just begun. There he is again, her sun is streaming, her sun is streaming. There he is again, her sun is streaming, her sun is streaming. Review in the P.O. box, Uncle Uger's face. Sudden discord at prop, great names take embrace. Tiny Bernie Sanders, LGBTQ Air Force. The whole left at your fingertips, on at your door. H3 crowded debate, the Young Turks online show. 3 full fucking years of this, plenty more to go. 90-day fiance talks of champagne bourgeoisie. A Trump rally live reaction on mass riot at DC. There he is again, her sun is streaming, her The sun is streaming. The sun is streaming. Reading a live stream, fair comments, Austin show chat advice. And all the ways the right-wing pipeline can suck you in online. JCS react, Lord frame gets broken, cover blown. A full-blown mass pandemic, monster streaming at your home. Total radicalization coming out to find the system you were taught to trust in was broken the whole time. All these daily streams, whether big or whether small, have helped me and so many find the meaning through it all. There is again, her sun is streaming, her sun is streaming. There he is again, her sun is streaming, her sun is streaming.